Good morning to you all. Let me get this rolling. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Moni, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. What's going on, Moni? I've been missing you, Moni. I haven't seen you in a few days, it feels like. Good morning to you all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's it going? Charzelle's in the building. Let's get it. I love that. I love that, Moni. I love that, beloved. I love it. I love that. Sefe, my brother, what's going on? So good to see you, family. Mindset Masters family is in the building. What's going on? What's the latest and the greatest? Lynetta's in the building. What's up, beloved? Sandy's in the building. Janae's in the building. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning to you all. Good morning to you all. Peace and blessings. That part right there said the kingdom mindset. Peace and blessings to you all. Peace and blessings to you all. Tyson's in the building. What's up, family? So good to see you. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to you all. Peace and blessings to you all. Tony's in the building. Tony, what's up, Tony? Yeah, you in the UK, huh, Tony? Jessica's in the building. Let's go. Yeah. I got it. What's your question? Yep. What's your question? Absolutely. Nicole's in the building. What's up, Nicole? I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Vanessa. I appreciate that, beloved. I appreciate that. Good morning to you all. Nitro's in the building. What's up, Nitro? So good to see you. Do me a favor real quick, you guys, and share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Ro, what's going on, Ro? Joseph, I appreciate that. Yeah, I love it. It's my favorite because the podcast is hard hitting. It's going boom, 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 boom. That's why I like it so much. That's why I like it so much. Percy, what's going on, Percy? That's why I like the podcast so much because it's one grenade after the next. Lynn's in the building. What's up, Lynn? So good to see you, beloved. I'm so happy that you recorded a voice message in the community. Keep doing that, sweetheart. Keep doing that. Red's in the building. What's up, Red? So good to see you, beloved. Again, do me a favor. Yeah, keep doing it. Kev's in the building. Again, you guys share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so, please. Got Matara in the building. April's in the building. What's up, beloved? So good to see you. Good morning to you, Red. Good morning, beloved. Good morning to you all. The real one's in the building. I love it. Reese's Pieces is in the building. All right, we getting ready to get started here. We got a lot of ground to cover. I promise you guys that. Yeah, Tyson, we getting ready to go. We getting ready to jump in. You know, I've been promising you guys that I would do a live on fear. Yeah, I've been promising you guys that I would do a live on fear. So the first, let's just call it quarter, right? The first quarter of this live is going to be about fear because, you know, I know it's one of those things that holds so many people back. And, you know, fear is such a dominating thing for so many people. It's such a debilitating thing for so many people. I want to make sure that you guys have a healthy relationship with it because fear is not what you think it is. And that, I think that's the biggest problem, is that most people don't really know what it is. And how can you have a healthy relationship with something if you don't know what it is? Right. So that's like, I just don't have fear anymore. Not because I'm better than you, but because um, you said, how do you regain your self confidence? You never lost it. That's number one. You never lost it. And I think that, this, what I'm getting ready to cover, and what I mean by you never lost it is, the lack of self confidence comes from the story you keep telling yourself. Right? There's self confidence is a feeling you give yourself. Self confidence is not a part of your nature. Self confidence is a feeling that you give yourself, like security. You don't get security from the people that are around you. You get security from the story you tell yourself about the people that are around you. I'll give you a perfect example of what I mean. Let's just say you're a celebrity, right? You're a celebrity, and you hire this bodyguard. Okay, the bodyguard doesn't have the power to transfer emotion over to you. The bodyguard doesn't have that kind of power. The story you tell yourself about the bodyguard, the meaning you give to the bodyguard being in your life, is what gives you the feeling of security. Okay, the feeling of security is a gift you give yourself. Same thing with the dog. When you go and you purchase some attack dog or some guard dog, the dog doesn't have the power to transfer feeling and emotion over to you. So the dog didn't give you the feeling of security. What gave you the feeling of security is the story you told yourself about the dog, the belief that you put into the dog, the meaning that you assigned to the dog unlocked the feeling of security in you. It's important for us to understand that all of our feelings and emotions are inbound only. You don't get feelings or emotions from anything that's happening in your external reality. I don't give a damn how many people you got standing next to you. No person can give you the feeling of security. You get the feeling of security, for example, when a woman is out on the town with her man's presence, and the story that she tells herself about her man's presence is what gives her the feeling of security. It's not that he's doing anything to make her feel secure. It's the meaning that she attaches to his behavior, the meaning that she attaches to his actions, the meaning that she attaches to his presence is what unlocks the feeling of security in her. And it's so important for us to understand that. So when it comes to self-confidence, going back to your question, when it comes to you lacking self-confidence, you lack self-confidence because there's a story that you are telling yourself about something, about you can't do this. See, let me say it this way. Let me say it this way. Belief and doubt are the same thing. They're the same thing. They're just, but doubt is just belief turned upside down. That's all it is. Let me say that one more time. Belief and doubt are the same thing. Doubt is belief turned upside down. Meaning, if I'm believing in something, I'm going to be confident because I believe I can do the thing. But if I'm doubting myself, I'm believing that I can't do the thing, but I'm still believing. So when you lack self-confidence, it's because your belief has been turned on its axis. There's a story that you are telling yourself about something that you don't think you can do, that you're not worthy, that you're not enough, that you can't make it, that you're not smart enough, you're not skilled enough, you're not talented enough. It's all coming from a story that you tell yourself, beloved. That's where it all comes from. Every single feeling and emotion that you experience rides the wave of some story that you're telling yourself about something that you think you can do, or about something that you think you can't, about someone that you think you can become, or about someone that you think you can't become. But either way, it's coming from the story you're telling yourself. That's all it is. That's all it is. So when you're lacking self-confidence, it's just your belief has been turned on its axis. Your belief, in other words, your mind is your weakness, it's not your weapon. And when your mind becomes your weakness, doubt gets turned on its axis, or belief gets turned on its axis. That's all it is. If you take 5 seconds and look at it, you'll see exactly what I'm saying. That part right there, Lynetta. Everything we experience in life is coming from a story that we tell ourselves, period. Everything you experience in life is coming from a story you are telling yourself about what's happening in your external world. And that story is either going to make you feel confident or it's going to make you feel lack self-confidence. It's either going to make you believe or it's going to make you doubt. It's either going to make you have faith or it's going to make you have fear, right? It's going to make you think that you're the solution or it's going to make you think that you're the problem. It's all coming from the story you're telling yourself. That's all I'm trying to get you to understand. So I don't need to change what's happening. We don't need to do all of these self-confidence techniques. I need to understand the story that you're telling yourself about why you feel like you can't do it. Everything is coming from what you tell yourself. That's what we don't understand. Everything comes from what you tell yourself. Everything, not some things. Again, real quick, you guys, do me a favor. Let's get this live started. Do me a favor. And what I'm getting ready to cover right now should explain a lot of, in greater detail, it should explain a lot of what you experience. Do me a favor real quick, one more time, you guys. Share the live to your stories. Brock, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. Do me a favor and share the live to your stories. If you haven't already done so, let's get the likes up so we can get the medicine out. Rich, what's up, Rich? So good to see you. Again, this first part of this live is getting ready to be about fear. Once you do it, just who would you be without fear? That's the most important question in the world. April, I appreciate that, beloved. Who would you be without it? What could you accomplish if fear wasn't in the way? You said you feel low today? That's okay. You're going to feel high by the end of this live stream. I promise you. You're going to be ready to jump out of 747 by the end of this live stream. I promise you that. I love that, Sandy. All right, let's get busy. Miss Tia, what's going on, Miss Tia? So good to see you. Yeah, that's the most important question in the world. Like, who would you be without fear? Think about where you would already be in life if fear wasn't a dominating thing in your life. You know how many people are stuck in relationships right now because of fear? You know how many people are stuck at jobs that they don't want to work at anymore because of fear? You know how many people don't have the life that they want right now because of fear? You know how many people don't go live on social media because of fear? You know how many people didn't go and ask that person out on a date at the end of the bar because of fear? That could have been that person's wife or husband down there, but fear controlled that whole situation. That's why it's important for you to understand fear. That's why it's important for you to understand it. You got to have a healthy relationship with fear. I can make the argument I got a better relationship with fear than I do with any person that I call a friend. I can get friends all day long. Once I master fear, everything is coming to me. And that's exactly what I did. All right, let's get busy, getting busy. Type me in the comments real quick. Again, do me a favor and share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Type me in the comments real quick if this is your very first time on the live with me. Let me do a quick intro and then we're going to get busy because we've already eaten up a lot of time. We got mountains to climb. Type me if this is your very, very, very first time on a live stream with me. Yeah, Rich, we got to cook, man. We ain't got time to be. Okay, real quick, for anyone that's new to the platform, welcome. For all of the first time and last time listeners, my name is Jordan Williams. I am a certified life coach. I specialize in self-awareness, self-mastery, relationship mastery, emotional intelligence, consciousness. I specialize in helping my students and my clients to become the most powerful versions of themselves. I am also the best-selling author of this book, The Secret of Awareness, How Powerful Are You Ready to Be? This book is a bestseller. It is a game changer. You cannot change your life if you don't change your mindset first, period. That's where you start. The second place you start is you need to understand that you are both the problem and the solution to your own life. Your problems don't exist outside of you. Your problems are not coming from anything that's happening outside of you. Your problems are coming from the story that you tell yourself about what's happening outside of you. See, here's what we need to understand. Here's what we need to understand. Everywhere you go in life, your computer goes along with you. What's my computer, coach? Your computer is your programming and conditioning. And your programming and conditioning is everything that you have experienced leading up to this moment. Your wounds, the failed relationships, the heartbreak, the childhood trauma, the suffering, the neglect, whether you had a good upbringing or you feel like you had a bad one, everything that you've experienced leading up to this moment is how your computer got programmed. Every movie you've ever seen, every book that you've ever read, every person that you've ever come in contact with, your grandparents, your friends, strangers, all programmed the computer. And as you're moving through life, when things are in alignment with your computer's program, you give yourself permission to experience happiness, love, peace, joy, excitement, abundance when things are in alignment. But the moment that something is out of alignment with your computer's program, here we go. Anxiety, depression, fear, unhappiness, moodiness, gloominess. Well, here's the problem. Your program is fixed, but reality is fluid, which means that more often than not, reality doesn't line up with your computer's program. Now, when it does line up with your computer's program, you give yourself permission to experience all of these positive emotions. But when it doesn't align with your computer's program, here comes the suffering. See, what you have to understand is that pain is unavoidable. There's not a single person on this live stream right now that's not going to experience some level of pain. Pain is not the problem because pain is your mentor. Pain is the entry fee to the life you want. Pain is its own form of spiritual intelligence. So pain is not the problem. Pain comes to shatter your illusions. Pain comes to shatter the falsehoods. Pain comes to shatter the stories that you tell yourself about reality. Pain comes to shatter the character that you've been playing this entire time so that you can fit into this group and you can receive love from this person and you can be accepted in this particular thing over here. That's what pain is coming to do. Pain is coming to tap you on the shoulder and say, you are not in alignment with who your father created you to be. You are out of alignment with that version of yourself. You are accepting or tolerating things that you shouldn't be. That's where the pain is coming from. You're showing up small in your own life. That's where the pain is coming from. You're not living from your authenticity. That's where the pain is coming from. You're out of alignment with your highest and best self. That's where the pain is coming from. You're living in the past. That's where the pain is coming from. You're living in the future. That's where your pain is coming from. Pain comes anytime that you are out of alignment with your highest and best self. Suffering comes because of the story that you tell yourself about the pain. The pain came one time to wake you up, but you kept repeating the story about the event, about the situation, about your circumstances. And because you kept repeating the story, you created the suffering. Misery is not caused by what happens in life. Misery is caused by the story that you tell yourself about what's happening in life, and you over obsessing over the story. And it's so important for you to understand that. Pain is your mentor. Pain enters your life anytime that it's time for you to walk away from something that's no longer adding value to you. Pain enters your life when it's time for you to detach yourself from a relationship that no longer serves you. Pain comes anytime that you are clinging to someone, you attached to someone, and you sold yourself a story that you can't make it without this person or that you can't be happy without this person. That's why pain comes. Pain does not care about your friends. Pain does not care about your neighbors. Pain does not care about your significant other. When pain comes into your life, it's a divine push. Pain is a divine push. Pain speaks a language that no human being can. That's why it comes. Pain communicates with you when words can't. That's why pain comes. Pain shows up to have a conversation with you when words won't suffice. Period. One more time. I appreciate that, beloved. I appreciate that, beloved. Thank you. One more time. Pain speaks a language that no words will. Pain speaks a language that no words can. Pain shows up when there's no more explaining to do. Pain shows up when we've run out of conversations. Pain shows up when you have failed to pay attention. That's when pain comes. Pain is tapping you on the shoulder. It's saying it's time to go. I'm giving it if you're ready or not. It's time for you to move on from this situation. It's time for you to move on from this person. It's time for you to move on from this relationship. It's time for you to move on from this job. It's time for you to move on from yesterday's version of you. It's time for you to move. That's what pain is. Pain is your mentor. The day you start listening to your pain over people, you're going to become the greatest version of yourself. I listen to my pain, not people. People don't know what they're talking about. People speak it to you from their pain. So how do they know? All the people that's giving you all this advice is speaking from their pain. Because if you're not self-aware of yourself, only your advice is coming from your experiences. Your advice is coming from your wounds. Your advice is coming from everything that's happened. Well, guess what? Where that person is going in life is not where you're going, beloved. This is why I don't give people advice. I provide the information. I'm like a buffet. I'm gonna put all this food out on the table. What you eat is up to you. Chew up the meat, spit out the bones. Period. That's how you apply me to your life. You chew up the meat and you spit out the bones. I'm just a buffet. You might be full already. Wonderful. Enjoy the show. You might be starving right now. Wonderful. Eat what you want. Eat what applies to you. I'm speaking to your spirit right now. I'm not speaking to your programming and conditioning. I'm not speaking to your ego. I'm not interested in your level of education or whatever it is you've achieved in life. I have zero interest in that. We're going to have a spirit to spirit, essence to essence conversation. Then I can reach you for real. Everything else is noise. I appreciate the gifts, beloved. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, beloved. Thank you, beloved. That's it. That's all. All right, let's get busy getting busy. Let's get busy getting busy. You said you keep hoping to pop in and see me smiling? Gregory, I appreciate that. I got people popping in this live, man. Again, you guys, before we jump into this live on fear, do me a favor and share the live to your stories real quick, if you could. Honey man, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. Do me a favor and share the live to your stories real quick if you haven't already done so. Again, let's get the lights up so that we can get the medicine out real quick for anyone just jumping in. Again, my name is Jordan Williams. I'm a certified life coach. I specialize in self-awareness, self-mastery, relationship mastery. Divine, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. Emotional intelligence. And I can make the argument that I was given the toughest assignment in the history of mankind. What's that assignment? To wake people up, which is the most difficult thing in the world to do. The most difficult assignment in the history of difficult assignments is the assignment that was given to me. And so many chosen ones were given that same assignment as well. So, forgive me if I don't make a lot of jokes. Forgive me if I don't do a lot of laughing and playing, because being asleep is plain crass serious. Because when you are asleep, you are a liability to yourself. You are a liability to every single person that you come in contact with. And if I'm laughing and joking and playing and all of this other stuff like that, I won't be taken seriously, and I shouldn't be taken seriously. Your ego is playing craft serious. It's not playing with you. Your programming and conditioning is playing craft serious. It's not playing with you. Your childhood wounds and your trauma and all of those things are all playing craft serious. None of those things are playing with you. That's why we're on the medication, and that's why we gotta go see the therapist. And we're depressed and unhappy. And if that's a joking matter to you, then I don't know. Maybe this is the wrong platform. But I take that serious. I take my assignment serious because God takes it serious. So I take it serious. So just understand that my community knows my personality. They know what time it is. I like to joke. I like to have fun. I like to do all of those things. Just not right now. Just not right now. Because the moment is too serious, the assignment is too serious. Just not right now. That part right there. When you wake up, we're going to do backflips up and down the street. That's what we're going to do. All right, you guys, let's get busy. Let's get busy. Let's get busy. Let's get busy. Yeah, the day you become self-aware, trust me, I'm going to be running down the street. It's going to be a parade. I throw the parade for you and everything. The day you become self-aware, I throw the parade for you. Yeah. It's going to be blimps going down the street and everything. But until then, no, we got to get busy. All right, let's get busy. Fear is the most profitable business ever invented by man. Get locked in on that. I said fear is the most profitable business ever invented by man. Most profitable. Fear is born the moment you become attached to something outside of you. That's where all your fear is coming from. I said fear is born the moment you become attached to something outside of you. What is an attachment? An attachment is a belief that you have mistakenly convinced yourself that you can't be happy without some person, place, or thing, some object, some substance, something that you have convinced yourself that you can't be happy without. So much so that you have formed an emotional bond with this particular thing. And that thing is as much a part of you as your arms are right now. That's an attachment. So one more time, fear is born the moment that you become attached to something outside of you. In other words, whatever you're afraid of, there's an absence of love in you. That's what you should be concerned about. Anytime that fear is occupying your body, anytime that fear is occupying you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, there's an absence of love in you. That's the thing that you should be most concerned about. Because that's what the fear is there to let you know. Fear is there to let you know love is not in you right now. Period. You hear what I just said? Fear is coming to let you know that love is not in you. Wait a minute, hold on, freeze. We got to freeze for a second at least. Can we get 5 seconds of just pure pause? If you are a spiritual being. Unconditional love is what you are. It's what you are at your nature. It's what you are. You are the human manifestation of unconditional love. Okay, freeze that thought. But if you're unconditional love, and then fear is dominating your mind, it's dominating your life, it's dominating that moment, that means that you are disconnected energetically. You are disconnected spiritually from your own nature. That's what the fear is letting you know. Fear is letting you know you're believing in something that's out of alignment with your highest and best self. Fear is an indicator. It's not the problem. We've been programmed and conditioned to believe that fear is the problem. Fear is not the problem. Fear is pointing you in the direction of the problem. What's the real problem? Faith. You have no faith in you. That's what the fear is letting you know. I ain't got no business being here. If fear could speak, that's what it would say to you. I have no business being here right now. And the only reason why I'm here is because you don't have faith. You have lost faith in your talent. You have lost faith in your abilities. You have lost faith in your skill set. Most importantly, you have lost faith in your Father. We can end the live on that right there. Cosmic G, what's up, family? So good to see you. Period. We can stop the live right there. We don't even need to go any further than that. See, you've been programmed and conditioned to think that fear is your enemy. No, fear is your ally. Fear is coming to let you know you didn't forgot who your Father is. See, let me tell you what fear is really trying to tell you. Stop telling your Father the size of your problems and start telling your problems the size of who your Father is. That's what fear is trying to let you know. Stop telling God about the size of your problems and start telling your problems about the size of who God is. See, that's the problem right there. You so busy telling God about how big the problem is and what's going on, but you're not telling the problem about how big God is. One more time, all of the problems are being created by your programming and conditioning, beloved. The fear is being created by your programming and conditioning. Everything is being created by your programming and conditioning. When you look out at the world, you're looking through the filter of your programming and conditioning. There are going to be things in alignment with your programming and conditioning. There are going to be things that are out of alignment with your programming and conditioning. The moment that something is out of alignment with your program condition, boom, here comes the unhappiness. Boom, here comes the fear. Boom, here comes the imposter syndrome. Boom, here comes the worry. Boom, here comes the stress. Boom, here comes the depression. But all of these things are just a byproduct of your program condition. They're not in reality. They're only happening in your mind. I said fear is the most profitable business ever invented by man. And the moment that you become afraid, I just want you to park. I'm not asking you to change your life right now. The moment you become afraid, I just want you to pause and pay attention to the fact that love is not in you in that moment. Not a fiber of it. No residue, nothing. It's gone. When you have the fear in you, I just want you to pay attention to the fact that there's no faith in you in that moment. I'm talking about not a fiber of it. We can't find faith anywhere in you. So as soon as fear shows up on the scene, there's no faith in you. There's no love in you. Just put yourself in park and just pay attention to that. Again, I'm not asking you to change your life. I'm just asking you to look at the situation. But we claim to love God. We claim to know Him. We claim to believe in Him, but you got this fear in you. Fear only shows up when faith walks out the door. That's the real problem. Fear shows up the moment your faith walks out the door. Fear shows up the moment your belief walks out the door. Fear shows up the moment that you allow the problem to become bigger than who you are and the version of yourself that God created. That's the real problem, beloved. Fear is only tapping you on the shoulder when you forgot who you are. Have you forgotten who you are? I ain't got no business being here. That's what the fear is saying. I ain't got no business being here. Where'd faith go? Where'd belief go? Where'd love go? Why am I here? When I show up, we got a category 5 problem. One more time, fear is an indicator, beloved. It is not the problem. It's pointing you in the direction of the problem. Okay, what is it pointing me in the direction of? The fact that faith walked out the door. The fact that belief walked out the door. The fact that love walked out the door. You didn't hear them when they walked out? Fear is like, I ain't got no business being here. I don't have any business being here. No business. The moment that fear showed up, you should have reached for your Bible, not that person. The moment that fear showed up, you should have reached for your Bible, not the phone. You need to go sit with God in that moment. That's the real problem. The fact that you are disconnected from Him in that moment, that's the problem. The problem is not the fear. That is not the problem. Fear is like, I am not the problem. Do not blame me. I'm getting there. What Hollywood done told you about me? I show up when faith walks out. I show up when belief walks out. I show up when you stop trusting yourself. I show up, most importantly, when you stop trusting your Father. Because you've allowed your problems to be bigger than His greatness. You must have forgot. It shouldn't be called fear. It should be called you must have forgot. We didn't put the wrong label on it. If we're going to label it as anything, that's what it should be labeled as. It should be labeled, instead of us calling it fear, it should be called, you must have forgot who your Father is. You must have forgot. Clearly, you must have forgot. That's what it should be called. Clearly. Okay, real quick, you guys, do me a favor and share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Kingdom Investor, I appreciate that, beloved. Do me a favor real quick, you guys. I said you must have forgot. That's what I said. Damn, sharing the live. You must have forgot. We ain't leaving off that. We're not leaving off. We ain't gonna drive over that like speed bumps in the middle of the road. One more time. Fear is your ally. It's not your enemy. Fear only shows up when your faith walks out the door, because faith and fear can't occupy the same moment. So anytime that your faith walks out, fear shows up, but fear's not showing up because there's a problem happening outside of you. Fear comes to let you know that the real problem is the fact that you let faith walk out the door. The real problem is the fact that you let belief walk out the door. The real problem is the fact that you let love walk out the door. The real problem is the fact that you've forgotten who your Father is. Check yourself right now. You need to get away from the crowds. You need to get away from all these low vibrational people. You need to get away from all the people that's got you confused. You need to get away from whoever it is that's got you confused in that moment. You need to get away from them people. You need to go find the corner, go find the lake, go find the stream, go out in nature. You need to go reconnect yourself with your Father again. That's what fear is letting you know. Fear is the messenger in your life. Fear is your mentor. Just like pain. Pain is your mentor. Fear is your mentor. Fear ain't hurting you. The story that you've been told about fear is what's hurting you. See, people are always trying to change things that they don't understand. The moment you understand something, you understand that I don't need to change anything. I just need to understand it. You need to understand why fear is in your life. Anytime that you are getting ready to grow, fear is coming. Anytime that you are standing on the boundary line of who you are and you're getting ready to step outside of your comfort zone, fear is coming. But fear is coming to let you know, hey, you getting ready to grow. You get ready to blow up. You get ready to level up. It's on your side. Fear ain't never been against you. In the history of your life, fear has never been against you. You didn't let Hollywood trick you and all these people on social media trick you into believing that fear is some bad thing. It's more loyal to you than every person you call a friend. Fear is connected to success. Anytime that you are getting ready to do something new, anytime that you are getting ready to do something that you value, here comes fear. But because you don't have a positive relationship with fear, you look at fear as being a negative thing. So it makes you pause. It makes you withdraw. It makes you overthink the situation. Fear's like, what are you doing? I'm only here to celebrate your next step. Just look at it. Fear is connected to success, beloved. Fear is connected to success. The reason why you don't experience fear with everything that you got going on in your life, because fear is only connected to things that represent huge growth in your life. Let's say you've never been a motivational speaker before. Let's say you've never done public speaking. Right? I appreciate that, beloved. Let's say you've never done public speaking before in your life. Right? Okay. Public speaking represents another level for you. The public speaking is going to unlock a version of you that you currently don't have access to. That's wonderful. So guess what's going to happen? Fear is going to show up. But fear is not showing up because fear is not a stop sign. Fear is a green light. It's not a stop sign. It's a green light. Fear is letting you know you're getting ready to level up right now. You're getting ready to take your life to a whole other level. It's there to celebrate you in that moment. But because you don't have a powerful relationship with fear, you attach a negative meaning to it. You think that it means stop. You think that it means this isn't the thing that I should be doing. No, fear is saying hit the gas pedal. You get ready to level up right now. That's what it's trying to let you know. Why don't you experience fear when you're washing your car? Because your car don't represent value. Why don't you experience fear when you clean in your house? Because your house don't represent value like that. Why don't you experience fear when you go on to work every single day? Because it doesn't represent value. Watch this right here to qualify my point. Before you got that job, you experienced the fear. Tell me that you did. Tell me that you didn't experience the fear when you first got that job, when you were just when it was in thought format, when you was on your way to the interview. Tell me you wasn't experiencing anxiety, which is another form of fear. Tell me you wasn't experiencing fear. Why? Because you really wanted the job, because it represented significant value to your life. But once you got the job, where did fear go? Fear took off. Fear was like, I'm out. I just came to celebrate your success. I'm out now. And fear took off. And you weren't afraid after that no more. Now you going to the job and you chit-chat with this person and you chit-chat with that person and you got to know everybody, and now fear is not there anymore. Why? Because it only comes when you are getting ready to do something that's connected to significant value. Fear comes when you are getting ready to level up. Period. The story you're telling yourself about the fear is what's hurting you more than anything else in history. Fear is like, coach, please go talk to them about me. They didn't just, please go have a conversation with them people about me. They looking at me through the wrong filter. How can you get to the right place if you're looking through the wrong filter? How you gonna do it? Just help me understand. Maybe you know something I don't know. How can you possibly get to the right place if you're looking at through the wrong filter? Sandy said, I'm sad, you're making me laugh. Yeah, Sandy Fear was like, coach, please go talk. Please, coach, I'll pay you. Just go talk to people about me. They lying on me. All right, let's get busy. You're welcome, beloved. You're welcome. You're welcome. Frog to go. Cole, you're welcome. Kingdom investor, I'm telling you, beloved, that man, we got it all wrong. And so many of us are not who we could become, right? And who we have the potential to become because of fear. You know, fear is just saying they don't understand I'm on their side. Like they don't understand everything is on your side. But Spirit showed up. Spirit has showed up. Spirit has shown up. Spirit, like, coach, get out the way. Let me have this conversation with these people. Listen, beloved, everything is on your side. Every single thing is on your side. That depression is on your side. The anxiety is on your side. The fear is on your side. The worry is on your side. The stress is on your side. There's not a single feeling or emotion that you have ever experienced that's not on your side. Everything is on your side. Everything is trying to keep you in alignment with your highest and best self. That depression is coming to let you know you're hanging on to something that no longer adds value to you, even if the thing you're hanging on to is a memory. That anxiety is coming because you're out in the future where you have no power. All your power resides in this moment. It's trying to let you know you need to stay locked into the moment, and you need to trust your Father because that moment belongs to Him. This moment belongs to you. That worry is coming because you're not trusting yourself. That fear is coming because you're out of alignment, because faith walked out the door, love walked out the door, belief walked out the door. This is why all this stuff is coming. Happiness is coming because unhappiness is coming because you're paying closer attention to what's missing than you are to what's there. Every single thing in your life is designed to keep you in alignment with your highest and best self. You don't have negative emotions. You just have emotions. And they're all trying to keep you in alignment. Everything is on your side. What's hurting you is the story that you tell yourself. Because you don't understand what's going on. You don't understand how reality is working, beloved. Everything is on your side. Tell me one emotion that you have that's not on your side. Everything is trying to keep you in alignment with this moment, which is where your power is. What's the power of this moment? It's the only moment that you can experience love. It's the only moment that you can experience happiness. It's the only moment that you can change whatever it is about your life that you don't like. You can't change your life in the past. You can't change your life in the future. You can change your life in this moment. God is in this moment. That's why He's trying to keep you here. But the moment you step outside of this moment, you become detached from Him. The moment you step into the past, you become detached from Him. He's trying to keep you connected to Him at all times because He is source. You are source. You got to stay plugged into the source, beloved. You step outside, you lose power. You step into the past, you lose power. You losing power. You don't change your life in the past. You ruin your life by focusing on the past. You don't change your life in the future. You ruin your life by focusing on the future. You got to master your moment. Why would you worry about the next moment if you haven't mastered the one you're standing in? I tell you guys this all the time. The greatest thing that God has ever created was not that lion. And that lion is a bad boy. The greatest thing that God has ever created was not the oceans, not the diamonds, not the gold, not the mountains, not nature. The greatest thing He ever created was you. You are His highest and best creation. But when you don't understand how you work, when you don't understand your purpose, then you don't know how to place value on yourself. And when you don't know how to place value on yourself, you start getting your value from external perspectives. You start to get your value from the world. You get your value from your level of education. You get your value from the cars, clothes, jewelry. You get your value from how you are measured in the minds of other people. You start getting your value from all of these superficial things. But that's where you lose value. That's not where you gain it. It's where you lose it because your value can't be measured by anything that's happening in your external world. Value comes from your purpose, nothing else. And your purpose is not predicated on your level of education. Your purpose is not predicated on whether you've been to jail or not. Your purpose is not predicated on whether you got alcohol, you drink too much and you smoke too much. It's not predicated on any of that. Because today's nobody can become tomorrow's somebody. I've seen it. You are always one decision away from the best decision you have ever made. That's how powerful you are. Silver CEO, what's up, beloved? I'm telling you, you don't understand how powerful you are. Let's get back into this fear because I need you guys to have a healthy relationship with it so you understand it. I love fear. I love fear. If fear was a human being, I'd rather hang out with fear than hang out with any other person outside of the people in our community. And let me tell you why. Because fear is only connected to success. Fear is not connected to low vibrational things. Fear is not connected to low vibrational people. Fear is not connected to low vibrational situations. Fear is only connected to value. So I chase the fear. I don't chase people. I chase the fear because what makes me afraid lets me know that I'm getting ready to level up. I'm getting ready to step into that next level of my life. So the moment that fear shows up, fear is your compass. It's the entry fee to the life you want. You follow the fear, not people. You follow what makes you afraid. And the only reason why it makes you afraid is because it's outside of your comfort zone. The moment you get ready to step outside of your comfort zone, you're going to experience fear. Why? Because your ego loves to predict what's going to happen next. Well, guess what? Anything outside of your comfort zone is the unknown. So your ego can't predict what's getting ready to happen. So guess what it does? It's going to convince you and give you some of the best excuses and best reasons in the world to stay exactly where you are. And guess what you do? You listen to it. Yeah, you listen to it. You listen to it, beloved. Everything is PTG. Everything is PTG. We grow through what we go through in life. That's how you grow. We grow through what we go through in life. The negative experiences in your life lead to growth. They don't lead to happiness. They don't lead to joy. They don't lead to abundance. They don't lead to any of that. The positive experiences that you have in your life lead to happiness and joy and love and excitement and all of those things. So if the negative experiences lead to growth, and they do, and if the positive experiences lead to joy, peace, love, and happiness, that can only mean that when you combine the two, everything is working out for you. The negative experiences causing you to grow. The positive experiences causing you to experience love, joy, happiness, peace, abundance. So when you combine the two, that can only mean that everything is working out for you. But you're not looking at it like that. You're not seeing it like that. What do we say? God only gives you blessings and battles. That's all you get. He gives you the blessing, and you're going to experience some joy and some happiness and some excitement. The blessing might be you get that job promotion. The blessing might be you get the new car. The blessing might be you get a new apartment. The blessing might be you have a baby. The blessing might be you start your business or you start going live on social media. Okay, wonderful. That's the blessing. But right after that blessing, he's going to give you a battle. And that battle is going to be some obstacle. What stands in the way becomes the way. What stands in the way is the way. So right after you get that blessing, he's going to give you a battle, some obstacle, some adversity, some challenge, some problem. Why is he doing that? Because that thing is going to unlock a version of yourself to help you get to a level that you're not currently standing in right now. So you need the blessings and you need the battles, because when you combine the two, it leads to growth. But here's the thing that no one ever told us. The battle is infinitely more important to your life than the blessing ever could be. The blessing only gives you balance, but the battle gives you growth. That's why it's most important. Yeah, Silver CEO, beloved, you're going to get way more from I look for the battles now, because the battle is going to unlock a version of myself that I currently don't have. One more time, what stands in the way becomes the way. What does that mean? That's not bumper sticker talk. A lot of people don't know what that means. When I say what stands in the way becomes the way, Let me tell you what I mean. Turning heads, what's up, beloved? Let me tell you what I mean. I'm gonna leave the window cracked. 9 out of 10 people on this app right now, something's in your way right now. Something's in your way that's keeping you from leveling up. That might be a toxic relationship. That may be a circle of friends that you've outgrown. That may be you don't have a healthy relationship with fear. That may be a job that you're waking up to every single day that you've outgrown, you've transcended the job, but you complaining about it. It's lowering your vibrational frequency. It's causing you to be unhappy. It's causing you to be stressed out. It's causing you to be all these things. Or the person that you're waking up to. I tell you guys this all the time. The person you wake up to, the first person you say good morning to, and the last person you say good night to will either be the cause of your happiness or the cause of your suffering. For some of you guys, you're waking up to a person every single day, and the person isn't creating your suffering. Let's be very clear about that. They don't have the power to create your suffering. What's creating your suffering is the fact that the relationship no longer adds value to you. The situation no longer adds value to you, and your brain is a pattern matching machine, and it's attaching meaning to that person. Every time you see that person, you get triggered. And when you get triggered by the person, triggers are a very beautiful thing because triggers are always pointing to where the work is. That's why triggers are so valuable. So that person you're seeing, you know that the person doesn't add value to you, but one more time, because you don't have a healthy relationship with fear, you've contemplated leaving the relationship. You've actually given it some real thought, but you're so afraid to leave it. Because whether you don't believe you can make it on your own, you don't believe that you can be happy without this person, you've developed some quality of life that you're not ready to walk away from. But one more time, what stands in the way is the way. Meaning it's the thing that you are supposed to be going after in that moment. It's the dragon that you are supposed to slay in that moment. Because who you are going to become on the other side of what's standing in your way is going to be you're going to become infinitely more powerful than the version of you are right now that's complaining about the situation. What's standing in your way is the way. So the moment that something is in my way, that's the very thing that I'm going after. Period. What stands in the way is the way. The life you receive is the one you focus on. Some of you guys are waking up every single day to a life that you don't love. You have the power to change your situation, but again, fear is holding the steering wheel of who you are. What did we say before? When you lack self-confidence, it's only a lack of self-confidence is only belief turned on its axis. That's all it is. You're just not believing. You're not believing in your ability. You're not trusting God. You're not trusting. You got some trust issues right now. That's the real problem. You're not trusting. Bottom line, you're not trusting. Bottom line, trust issues. And oh, how quickly we forget. Oh, how quickly we forget. How quickly we forget. Look at all of the things that you've overcome in the past that you didn't think you would be able to overcome. Look at all of the things that while you were in the heat of that thing, you couldn't see past the thing. But time went on. And you're fine now. And you made it now. But why don't we remember? Look at all of the moments when you were in that moment, when it felt like life was falling apart. It felt like you were going to make it. Maybe you didn't have no money at the time. Maybe your credit was bad at the time. Maybe you didn't have any transportation at the time. Maybe somebody had walked out of your life. Something traumatic happened to you. And it was a long time ago. But when you were in the heat of that situation, it didn't feel like you would make it out of that situation. All you could see was what was wrong in your life. You were depressed. You were unhappy. You were operating at a low vibrational frequency, all of these things. But look at you now. Look at you now. You made it out. And the same thing applies now. This is why you have to, that's what your past is there for. That's why God gave you the past. Because it's a reflection of everything that you've made it through. It's your receipts. Your past is your receipt that you are badass, that you are resilient, that you have taken some of life's best punches and you still standing. Now, I'll give you credit. You might not have the life that you want right now, but you're not where you used to be either. And you're not who you used to be. That's what your past is there for. Your past is a reflection of everything you've overcome. Your past is a reflection that God is rocking with you. Your past is a reflection that you are going to make it no matter what. Just look at it. Stop looking at it with a negative filter. And just look at it based upon everything that you've overcome, and it'll change your relationship with it. When you change the way you look at things, everything you look at changes. I'm telling you. See, here's the problem. When most people look at their past, we get depressed, we get unhappy, moody, all of these things. When I look at my past, I'm supercharged after that because my past is the receipts of everything that I thought I wouldn't make it through and everything I thought I wouldn't overcome, and I'm still standing here. That's why I rock with God. I ain't got no business not having no faith in him. I ain't got no business. Now, I can't speak for you. But it is disrespectful for everything he's put me through, for all of these different versions of myself I ain't had no business being. I had versions of myself that I didn't have any business. I'm talking about flat out, didn't have no business being that person. I didn't have no business being that version of myself. I ain't had no business. He still rocked with me, still loved me, still kept his hands on me, still pulled me out of all these different situations and adversity and problems and all these different things like that. Transformed me into one of the greatest speakers in human history. That's why I rock with him. I ain't got no business not having faith. One more time, I can't speak for you, beloved. I can't speak for you. But what I can say is this. When you keep your eye on him and get your eye off all them people, when you keep your eye on him and get your eye off your problems, when you keep your eye on him and get your eye off of everything that's wrong with your life, you're going to transform yourself. I have no business. I'm standing on the top of every mountain I can see, letting people know, man, yo, fuck, man, I'm telling you, I was the best at being the worst. That's who I used to be. I was the best at being the worst version of myself. And he took me, dusted me off, and transformed me into the greatest version of me. I went from being the worst version of me to being the greatest version of me, all in a season. So you want to talk about what he can do? I'm telling you now. But you can't have one foot in the door with him and then the other foot in the door of who you used to be because you waiting on some evidence. Because he don't move like that. That's why surrender is so important. You got to let go of who you think you should be, let go of who you think you need to be, and focus on who he needs you to become. That part right there, Nail Studio, that part right there, beloved. I'm telling you. See, change is the essence of life. You have to be willing to surrender who you are now for who you could become later. I said surrender. Change is the essence of life, beloved. You have to be willing to surrender who you are now for who you could become later. That's why you need faith. Belief is based on what you see right now. That's why you have belief. He gave you belief based upon what you have evidence of. That's why you get to believe, because you have evidence of something. Faith is, I need you to just trust me. That's how he moving. I need you to trust me. I need you to trust me. I need you to put this blindfold on, and I need you to just take off walking. Take off walking away from your problems. Take off walking away from who you think you need to be. And watch where I take you. But as long as you keep peeking underneath the blindfold, as long as you keep peeking through the cracks, as long as you keep asking questions about when is it going to happen and what are we going to do, and are you sure, then you're not having faith in me. As soon as God blew that horn, I was on it. See, I ain't had no business. Like, one more time, I was the best at being the worst. You want to talk about rock bottom? I was already at the bottom. I was digging holes at the bottom. I was so deep at the bottom, I'm down there digging holes. But he had to let me fall first. See, because it's only when you are sick of your own sickness that you'll get out of it. That's the only time that you'll get out of it. When you are sick of your own sickness, you'll get out of it. When you get tired of your own lies, you'll get out of it. When you get tired of showing up small in your life, you'll get out of it. But if some of you guys, you ain't hit rock bottom yet. That's why you ain't ready to transform, because you ain't hit rock bottom yet. See, it takes suffering to end suffering. Other than that, you're going to be like the premature butterfly. So Presley, what's up, family? I love you too. I'm telling you. I tell you guys this all the time, man. It's you like that. You like the David. You like that statue, solid marble. You got to think about yourself that way. You got to look at that when you go and look at that real statue. That statue is show up as solid marble. And that artist, that sculptor, he's chiseling away at this and chiseling away. He's chiseling away at everything that's going on with the statue. But in your mind, you think, would the statue be a ruin? Look at all the stuff. Look at everything that's falling apart. That's what pain comes to do. It shatters the illusion. It has to break open and crack open that version of yourself that you think you need to be for the world. It shatters the fantasies. It shatters the stories that you've been telling yourself. It shatters the version of yourself that you've been pretending to be. That's what pain is designed to do, beloved. You got to think about a seed. A seed has to be cracked open in order for that tree to emerge. And here's what's beautiful. The entire tree is inside of the seed. Think about what I'm saying to you. Tiny little seed. This bad boy going to be 200-300 feet in the air. But the entire tree is contained inside of the seed. But if you just leave that seed on the ground, yeah, it's going to get some sunshine. It's going to get some rain. It's going to get all of that. But it'll never grow, beloved. But the moment you take that seed and you plant it in that soil, everything starts to change. And that's you. You got to get planted in darkness before you can ever come to the light. That's what it's all about. And that shell of who you think you are has to be fractured. That's what the pain is, like the real peach tree seed. The pain is not coming as a punishment. The pain is coming because it's time for the tree to emerge. It's not a punishment. But in order for something to grow, something else has to break. So that shell on that seed has to crack. Now that might be painful for the seed. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But that tree will never emerge if something doesn't get broken open. Same thing with you. The tree has to emerge, which means something has to break, something has to give. Good, beloved. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's all it is. We just listen to people, so we look at the experience. You labeled pain as being a negative thing in your life. I appreciate that, beloved. Just like that. Just like that. See, what we fail to realize is that the caterpillar has to dissolve into nothingness in order for the butterfly to emerge. So you've got to dissolve the illusions, you got to dissolve the fantasies, you got to dissolve the stories, you got to dissolve the programming and conditioning. And the butterfly emerges from all of that. That's what makes the butterfly emerge. Think about it. I'm telling you, that caterpillar has to dissolve into nothingness in order for that butterfly to emerge, or the process is ruined. Right? So for some of you guys, that's what's happening. You think you lose in something. See, we the only creatures in nature that think we lose in something when this falls apart, or we think we lose in something. No, no, no. You got to understand, the statue's not finished yet. Anything that's falling apart is only something that was never designed to be there. When people walk out of your life, they walk out of your life because they were attached to a version of yourself that you no longer are. Every person that exits your life only exits your life because their purpose, their mission in your life is finished, it's complete. And God knows that. And the reason why that person has to exit your life, because if God allows that person to stay in your life, it will stunt your growth, beloved. You'll never become the greatest version of you. Now you can hang on to the person, but it's gonna cost you your growth. It's gonna cost you your greatness. It's gonna cost you your purpose, and He's not gonna let that happen. So when that person walks out of your life, it's because that person's purpose in your life is finished. What do? We trying to get the person back. We trying to talk them into coming back. We trying to give them another chance. No, God is saying, no, that relationship is expired now. It's over with. Whatever He wanted that person to bring to your life, they brought it. Trust and believe. And what do we say all the time? God will never let you lose your best. He will never let you lose the greatest you will ever have. He will never let that happen. The greatest you will ever have is what's coming. What walked away is what's making space for the greatest that you'll ever have. That's what you got to understand. You ain't lost nothing. You don't lose with Him. You only gain. You losing in your mind. You losing based on the story you telling yourself about the situation. That's what's making you think it's a loss. What you call a loss, God calls an error in your thinking. Everything that you call a loss, He's calling an error in your thinking, an error in your perception of the situation. So who you going to listen to? Your thinking or His? That part right there, beloved, that was a bar right there. Tara, pin Gianna's, pin that comment up there for me, beloved, please, what she just said. Awana, that's beautiful, beloved. That's beautiful. 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 We need to put that on the shirt. We need to put that on the shirt right now. I'm telling you, we're going to sell 1 million copies of it. We need to put that on a shirt right now. How can greatness come if you trying to hang on to everything? Every person, every situation, you clinging to this, you clinging to that. Greatness can't come that way, beloved. You got to let go. That's why impermanence is so important. And radical acceptance is so important. Whatever's designed to be in your life is going to be in your life. If you got to convince this person to love you, and convince this person to see you, and convince this person to appreciate you, all of those things are indicators. Everything in your life should be effortless, like your breathing. See, we don't pay attention to reality. Look at how effortless your breathing is. And then look at how oftentimes our life is the opposite of all of that. All that energy trying to convince this person, and I got to look in this person's phone and trick this person and manipulate this person. Now, you don't have time for all of that. Everything in your life right now should be effortless. Because everything in nature is, everything in reality is. Everything should be effortless. All right, boom, let's get back. Let me get back into this fear, because we ain't even. So one more time, fear is there to let you know that love is missing in you. Nothing is more important than that. Nothing. We can put all kind of labels on it that you want to. Nothing is more important. Let me say this to you too, real quick. Let me say this real quick. You are a spiritual being. before you are anything else. You are a spiritual being. Human beings came up with language, and they came up with language because they were trying to break down and they were trying to describe what was happening in the world and what they were seeing out in reality. But the word is not the thing. Did you hear what I just said? I said the word is not the thing. No word in the history of mankind is the thing that it's trying to describe, including your name, starting with your name. No word in human history is the thing that it is trying to describe. Words point us in the direction of the thing that it's trying to describe, but it is not the thing. You are a spiritual being. Somebody came up with these words. Somebody came up with these labels. Somebody came up with these titles. And in your mind, it sounded good. And you attached that label. You attached that title. You attached that problem to you. I don't have a problem with the label. What I have a problem with is the belief that you assigned to the label. Because the moment that you believed that you had this problem, you created the problem. The problem didn't come from the label itself. The problem came from the belief that you attached to the label. That's what made the thing manifest in your life. So somebody told you you had depression, you believed it. Somebody told you you had anxiety, you believed it. Somebody told you about certain things about you, you believed it. That's what hurt you, is the belief, not the label, not the title, the fact that you believe that you had that problem. I missed that question. What was that question? Why is belief what? That's what I want to know. I mean, we listen when we like I said, when you don't know who you are, we'll listen to anything. We'll listen to anybody. That's the real problem. You said, why is belief so important? Because you won't get anywhere without it. Bottom line, you won't get anywhere without it. You know, I'm gonna say this real quick, and then I'm gonna get back into this live. There are certain things that you were given, certain superpowers that you were given. Belief is one of them. And the reason what makes belief your superpower is because once whatever it is you believe is what manifests in your life. Whether it's true or false, it doesn't matter whether it's true or false. What matters is that wherever you set your belief down, okay, wherever you set your belief, whether you think you're the baddest thing walking, that's going to materialize. Whether you think you're the worst thing walking, that's going to materialize. Whether you think you're not enough, that's going to materialize. You see the world through what you believe. In this moment, your entire reality is predicated on what you believe. When you look out at the world, you're seeing the world through the filter of what you believe to be true. So I'll give you an example. Let's say there's a woman and she's been scarred by a lot of men. She's had her heart broken time after time after time after time after time. So in her mind, she believes that there are no good men out there. Okay, wonderful. Whether that's true or not is not important right now. But the fact that she believes that means that her brain is going to find all of the reasons and all of the things to justify her belief, to support her belief. So because that's what she believes, that's all she will see. This is how your reticular activating system is programmed. Your RAS is programmed based upon what you believe. So because she believes that she will, all of the good men that are walking around her, she won't even see them. She will be blind to them. She will only see evidence to support what she believes to be true. That's all her brain will let her see. She can be surrounded by a sea of good men. She won't see them. And then the moment that she talks to a good man, the moment that she sees that person, she will start to self-sabotage. Her belief about that belief about there's no good man out there, she'll start to find everything wrong with that man. She won't trust what he's saying. She won't, not because he's lying to her, but because that belief won't allow her to experience. You got to be careful with that. When I'm coaching women, I'll coach, there's no more good men out here. Freeze. That's the first thing we need to get rid of. Get that out your mind. There's no good women out here. Get that out of your mind. Because if I allow you to walk through life with that belief right there, your brain will show you all of the evidence to support that belief, even though that belief isn't true. You didn't dealt with a handful of men. There's 8 billion people on the face of this earth. You have not dealt with all the men. We ain't gonna sit here and tell that lie. You might have dealt with 20, 50, 100. I even give you 1,000. And I'm being generous when I say 1,000. One more time. There's 8 billion people on the face of this earth. You dealt with a handful of them. Come on, let's live in the truth now. And some people have, see, here's the thing. You were attracting people that didn't know how to love you because you didn't know how to properly love yourself. That's really the real problem. Now, if you want me to just really break it down to you, I'll break it down to you. That's really what happened to you. You didn't know how to love you properly, so you attracted people in your life that didn't know how to love you properly as well. That's the real truth. That's the real truth. See, we blame other people for not knowing how to give us when we don't even know how to give ourselves. Most people don't know how to love themselves unconditionally. They don't know. And the reason why they don't know how to love themselves unconditionally, because you haven't tapped into unconditional love. Unconditional love is the byproduct of self-awareness. So if you're not self-aware, if you're not emotionally intelligent, if you're not a master of self, you're not even operating on the level of unconditional love. That's the hard truth. You want me to really break it down to you? I'll break it down to you. All these people talking about, yeah, I love myself unconditionally. BS, man. You ain't even tapped into self-awareness yet. Because when you tap into self-awareness, that means I've dismantled my ego personality. I've dismantled my programming and conditioning. I stand on my story. I don't stand in it anymore. When I look at the past, I don't attach emotion to it anymore. I'm not operating under the umbrella of my programming and conditioning. You know how much work that takes to get to that place? Now I can love me unconditionally. You say you love yourself unconditionally because your ego is holding the steering wheel of who you are, and it sounds good. And your ego will never let you be seen in the negative light. So you're going to say that. So if I ask you, do you love yourself unconditionally? You can say, oh yeah, I love myself unconditionally, but you ain't done the work yet. So I know you're not telling the truth in that moment, but I ain't going to let you, I'm not going to say nothing to you. I'm just going to look at you. You ain't got a self-aware bone in your body. Talking about you love yourself unconditionally. You have not done the work yet. You don't get to unconditional love until you've done the work. That's when you get to unconditional love, because unconditional love comes from alignment. It doesn't come from your bumper stickers. It doesn't come from your affirmations that you say in the mirror every morning. It doesn't come from that person that you watch, whose podcast you watch. It doesn't come from the book that you read. It doesn't come from that. It comes from alignment only. God will only allow you to tap into unconditional love when you have tapped into alignment. And until that point, you are operating on conditional love at best. And I'm being generous when I say that. Generous. So we attract people into our lives because that's the whole purpose of the relationship. The relationship is designed to help you get to unconditional love. Why? Because your partner is going to be a reflection of your pain. Your partner is going to come in wearing the face of your wounds. Your partner is going to come in wearing the face of your childhood trauma. Your partner is going to come in wearing the face of where the work is and where you need to grow and where you need to heal. That's where, but you guys create an environment and an ecosystem that gives you the ability to do that. That's the whole purpose of the relationship. We didn't been sold the idea of a relationship from Hallmark cards. We didn't been sold the idea of the relationship from romance movies. We've been sold the idea of the relationship from all these other people. It had nothing to do with any of that. That whole relationship is designed to get you in an environment, in an ecosystem that would allow you to transcend into unconditional love, period. We made it about everything else. We made it about everything else. Everything that it's not, we made it about. Success, money, date nights. He got a banging body. She got a banging body. Traveling, Netflix, binge watching, cupcaking. Let's build an empire together. Let's all the things. But we ain't never talked about the healing. We ain't talked about the healing at all. I'm walking around with my wounds, you walking around with your wounds, I'm walking around with my pain, you walking around with your pain, but we're masking all of that through our accomplishments. We're masking all of that through the career. We're masking all of that through we had the kids. We're masking all of that through all the stuff. And then at some point in time, we're gonna get desensitized to the house. We're gonna get desensitized to that Rolls Royce sitting outside. We're gonna get desensitized to the money that we have. We're gonna get desensitized to the friendships that we have going on and the clothes that we have. And we're gonna get desensitized to all of that. Guess what's gonna show up? Your pain gonna show up. The childhood traumas are gonna show up. Yeah, we can mask it with the kids. Yeah, we can mask it with the cars. Yeah, we can mask it with the date night. Yeah, we can mask it, but at some point in time, we're gonna get desensitized to all of that. And that's where the real relationship starts, and that's where the real work begins. And when you lack self-awareness, you don't know what that means. So guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna blame your partner for not being enough for you, for not filling your wants, needs, and desires, because the compassion went away. The passion in the relationship went away. The communication went away, right? The intimacy went away. All of these things slowly started to trickle away. Wonder why that is. It's a rhetorical question. That's a rhetorical question. And that's nobody's fault. That's no one's fault. No one told us what the relationship is supposed to be about. So how do I know what it's supposed to be about if nobody's ever told me? All I know is what the movies have told me, the love songs have told me, romance novels have told me. So I thought that's what it was about. I jumped in a relationship, looking through those filters. It had nothing to do with any of that. Everything is about you transcending into unconditional love, because until you transcend into unconditional love, beloved, you can't step into your purpose. You can't step into your calling. That's ground zero right there. We got to get you to the unconditional love first. We got to get you past your story. We got to get you past the pain. We got to get you past your programming and conditioning. We got to get you past all of the things that you think about when no one else is around. We got to get you past all of that. So your ego is going to tell you, yeah, I love myself unconditionally, coach. Of course your ego is going to say that. It's supposed to say that. Your ego is always defending the story. Your ego defends the story. Whatever the story is that you tell yourself, your ego is not the problem. Your ego defends the story. That's what your ego is a master at. So if you say that you're the baddest thing walking, your ego's going to defend that. If you say you're the worst thing walking, your ego's going to defend that. If you say you're not enough, your ego's going to defend that. Your ego only defends the story that you tell yourself when no one else is around. Your ego defends your self-image. Your ego defends whatever it is you believe to be true about you. Whatever comes out of your mouth, your ego is going to defend that. Fearlessly defend it. Even if there's no truth in it, your ego will defend it. And you got a fiber of truth in it, your ego will defend it. And that's the moment, the reason why when people push up against what you say and they push up against your belief, that's why you get so upset. It's not you getting upset, it's your ego getting upset. So you can sit here and say, "Oh, I love myself unconditionally, coach." But the moment I say, "No, you don't love yourself unconditionally," you're gonna become upset. You're gonna feel offended, even though I'm telling the truth, because your ego will never let you be seen in a negative light. Won't do it. You can be dead wrong. Your ego will still defend your belief, even though your belief has no truth in it. So when you transform into unconditional love, your ego will defend that. It will defend that because that's what you become. So your ego is still important. It just doesn't need to be holding the steering wheel to who you are. And once you become self-aware, it's going to defend that. It's going to be that thing that lets you go out and change the world, that lets you go out and build this major company, that lets you go and write that book. It's going to defend that. But it's not the problem. It's just the security to the problem. I'm telling you, this is all mastery. All of this is mastery. All right, let's get back into fear because I'm out of alignment right now. Let's get back into fear. So you come to class with a notebook, beloved? I got you. Spartan Dre, what's up, family? I'm telling you, your ego, see, like I said again, the example that I gave the community today, here's the example that I gave the community. Let's just say you got a best friend. Your best friend loves you to death. And let's say when you guys are out in public, right, your best friend will protect you, will defend you, will whatever the case may be, even when you are dead wrong. Even when there is no truth in what you're saying, your best friend will still support you because they rock with you, they love you. They would never let you be seen in a negative light. But the moment you get back home, when there's no one else around, your best friend, if they're a real best friend, is going to tell you, hey, you was wrong for that. How you handled that wasn't cool. I ain't going to ever say nothing. I ain't going to out you in public. But how you handle that, man, you can't do that. Okay, that's a real best friend. But that's how your ego works. It's going to always defend you publicly. But it also knows who you are privately. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. So your ego is not the problem. It's only defending your story. It's only defending your beliefs. It's only defending your attitude. It's only defending who you think you are. And whoever it is you are promoting yourself to be in that moment, it's going to defend it. You say you're a rocket scientist, that ego gonna say, yes, she is. You say you the baddest thing walking, your ego's gonna say, yes, she is. You say I'm the worst thing in the world, your ego's gonna say, yes, she is. Whatever you say, it's going to support that. Period. So it is not the problem. All right, let's get busy getting busy. Do me a favor real quick, you guys, to share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. What's up, Kev? Cash, what's up, beloved? Kim, I see you. Again, you know, your ego's not the problem. No, hell no. Because here's the thing, your ego is, let us again. Well, as you becoming more powerful, are you gonna need that? And let me tell you why you're gonna need it, because you're gonna have people pushing up against you. We talk about your 33. You're going to have people pushing up against you in life. You ain't going to run into a whole bunch of self-aware people. Trust me when I tell you that. You're going to have people that tell you you're not that smart. You're going to have people that tell you you're not badass. You're going to have people that tell you you don't know what you're talking about. And your ego coming. Your ego is coming. It's coming. When don't nobody else come, it's coming. Like, what you mean she ain't the best? What you mean she ain't the coolest? What you mean she ain't this and that? Oh, it's coming. But when you are becoming the greatest version of yourself, we just need the ego in the back of the SUV. It just can't hold the steering wheel anymore. We need it in the car still, back there in the back. Because every now and then you're gonna run up against that person that's gonna push up against you, and you're gonna have to remind that person in that moment who you are. And that's when your ego is going to emerge. It's going to come back. It's going to be thinking about that pain you went through. It's going to be thinking about everything you had to go through to get to this moment. It's going to be thinking about all of the trials and tribulations, all of the setbacks, the moment when you was broken, when you didn't have anything, and all of the mountains that you had to climb to get here. Your ego is like, hell no, we ain't going for that. I'm not doing another toxic relationship. I'm not doing another walk on eggshells. I'm not doing another turn down the volume of my voice. I'm not doing another show up small. Hell no, we ain't doing it. We're going to tear it up then. We're going to tear it up. Let's tear it up. That's your ego. And we're going to tear it up. Let's tear it up. But we ain't doing that. That's why you need it. Because there will be certain moments in life. Somebody going to try you. Certain moments in life, somebody just might play with you. Certain moments in life, somebody just might think it's a little bit too sweet. And you have to remind them. I done been through some stuff too now. Hold on. I done been through some stuff too. Let me just set this self-awareness down real quick. Let me set this emotional intelligence down. Let me meet your energy with energy. Let me meet your energy with the energy you meet me with. I got somebody that can talk to you right quick. Ego, come holler at this man real quick. That's why you need it. Because you can't be self-aware everywhere you go. Because you're gonna encounter people that's not. What you gonna do then? When you meeting somebody's ignorance in that moment, they ain't trying to hear none of what you saying. That part right there, Leticia, that part right there, beloved, yeah, every now and then you got to go DMP PCS. People act like you ain't never been through nothing. I don't know why people act like that. Like your whole life, you just been successful your whole life. You've been on your whole life. You ain't never went through nothing. Man, please. But this is why, yeah, that's a different conversation. I see you, Rich. Come on, Rich. We done been through it, man. We ain't, like, I choose to be this version of me. And I'm gonna beg you to please let me be this version of me. Please just let me be this version of me. Please don't make me go get the ego out of the car. Don't make me bring the ego. I don't want to be, but I'll do it though. I ain't got no problem doing it. I got no problem doing it. I choose to be this version of me, and I'm begging you to let me be this version. I'm begging you now. Let me be this version of me. Let me make it. But I can't go get somebody to have this conversation with you if that's what you want. I got a version of myself that I can bring to this moment. And I'm telling you, we'll tear all the paint off the walls in this bad boy. Won't be no paint left on the walls. Quanta said we know. Look at Silver Seeger. Quanta said we know. I'm telling y'all. Kingdom invest. I'm telling you, Kingdom invest. But I'm trying to listen. I didn't done the work. I didn't, But again, you gonna meet people in life. You're gonna meet people in life. And to be honest with you, with everything that's going on in this world, when you look at the state of affairs and everything that's going on in this world, you need that. You need that. You need that because sometimes and I can make the argument 9 times out of 10, you're gonna meet their ignorance before you meet their emotional maturity. You're gonna meet their ignorance before you meet the self-awareness. You're gonna meet their ignorance before you meet the best version of them. You sit here coming in contact with their ignorance, and you bring in the self-aware version of you to the situation. You're gonna lose that battle, beloved. You're gonna lose that battle because they don't hear any of what you're saying because people only hear you through their pain. They only hear you through their wounds. They only hear you through their triggers. So if they haven't healed themselves from all of that, they can't hear you. They don't hear you at all. They have no understanding. People can only understand you at their level of consciousness, not yours. So yeah, you might be operating on this elevated level of consciousness, but they don't understand you on that level, beloved. They don't understand none of what you're saying. That's the real problem. They don't understand you. People understand you as deeply as they understand themselves. And newsflash, most people don't understand themselves, so they ain't gonna never understand you. They disrespect themselves repeatedly. So disrespecting you ain't nothing. If I disrespect me, you ain't got a shot, beloved. People constantly, I'm talking about that person that you talk to, they disrespect themselves on a regular. So if I don't place value on me, what you think I'm gonna do when it comes to you? You ain't got a shot. You see what I'm saying? If I don't place high value on me, I will never place it on you. If I don't place respect on me, I won't place it on you. If I don't understand myself deeply, I can never understand you deeply. So I'm meeting this supercharged, self-aware version of you, but I'm living out of the land of ignorance in that moment. My ignorance is holding the steering wheel of who I am. That's all I'm saying. So this is why, see, as a self-aware person, you got to be able to read the moment. That's what makes you a master. What makes you a master is your ability to read the moment. What makes you a master is your ability to understand, what does the moment need from me right now? That's what makes you cold. You want to know what makes you cold? Knowing what that moment needs from you specifically. What do I need to bring to the moment? That's why I wanted to teach this brand of awareness, so that people would understand. You need to understand what I need to bring to the moment. Because I can't bring the self-aware version of me to the moment if I'm encountering somebody that's meeting me with their ignorance. And I can clearly see that this person is not self-aware. And I'm sitting here trying to have this self-aware conversation with this person. It's not going to work, beloved. You guys won't even hear each other. But my ego speaks the language that you speak. Oh, yeah. I speak your language. I just need to turn the channel. You see what I'm saying? I speak your language, but I just need to turn the channel. Because the channel that I'm operating on, you can't get to that channel. So I got to turn my channel down so I can meet you on a station that you understand what's going on. All right, let me get back into this. How we looking? Okay, we doing good. Yeah, that part right there. You know what I'm saying? Like I said again, everything is predicated on, and again, I appreciate that. Everything is predicated on, like I said again, you being able to read the moment. Here's what you guys have to understand. When you become the fully self-aware version of yourself, you're going to be operating on the frequency, right? You're going to be operating on a vibrational frequency that you really won't encounter a bunch of low vibrational people. You just won't. I really don't. But that's not to say that you're not going to have moments when you do. That's the whole point, not to be missed. Again, when you are tapped into awareness, I don't encounter a lot of low vibrational. I just don't. But I need you to be ready and prepared if you do. That's the whole point, not to be missed. So fear is the number one indicator that you are not fully trusting God in some area of your life. That's the problem. Getting back to the fear. One more time. Fear is the number one indicator that you are not fully trusting God in some area of your life. Kingdom Investor, I appreciate that, beloved. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Marvin, I appreciate that. And your fear is coming because you don't believe that the situation is going to work out in your favor. That's why it's coming. Fear is an indicator. It's not the problem. That's the number one thing we need to understand. Fear is the indicator. It's not the problem. So you don't have a fear problem. You have a faith problem. You ain't never had a fear problem in your life. Never. You don't have a fear problem. You have a faith problem. When your faith is absent, fear is what shows up. But fear shows up to let you know that your faith is absent. That belief is absent. That love is absent, right? It's not there. I appreciate that, beloved. Does that make sense? Kingdom Investor, I appreciate that, beloved. Does that make sense? Here's what you need to understand, and here's what's crazy. Your fear is only you projecting your own thoughts onto the situation. That's how fear is. Alana, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. That's how fear is. Fear is coming because you are projecting your own thoughts onto the situation, which you have no business doing at that time. That's why the fear is coming. One more time. Fear is being created because you're projecting your own thoughts onto the situation. You don't fear the situation. You fear what you think might happen regarding the situation. You don't fear the future. You fear what you imagine might happen in the future. We don't fear the unknown. What you fear is the loss of the known. One more time, this part is important. Your fear is being created because you are projecting your own thoughts onto the situation. Well, what's the problem with that? Well, your thoughts is everything that your thinking is everything that you've experienced leading up to this moment. Whatever it is that you get ready to experience is something that you've never experienced before, but you ain't trusting the situation. You're not trusting the situation. You don't have faith that it's going to go the way you need it to go. So you overthinking and you're projecting what you imagine might happen. That's what's producing the fear. You don't fear the future. You fear what you imagine might happen in the future. So you're fearing your own imagination in that time. It ain't got nothing to do with reality. Has nothing to do with reality whatsoever. What you're fearing is what's happening in your imagination. It ain't got nothing to do with life, nothing to do with God, nothing to do with reality. We don't fear the unknown, we fear the loss of the known. You ain't never been afraid of the unknown in your life. What you're afraid of is letting go of the known, letting go of what's familiar. How can you possibly fear the unknown? You don't know what it is. So what would you be afraid of? Humanly impossible for you to be afraid of the unknown. What you're afraid of is the loss of the known. Walking out there and falling on your face. What people might think. What they might have to say. That's what you fear. And so all of it is happening in your mind. Is the point not to be missed. The fear is coming because you are out of alignment with God in that moment. Period. The fear is coming because you are out of alignment with God in that moment, but you are in alignment with your mind. You see the problem with that? One more time, the fear is coming because you are out of alignment with God in that moment, but you are perfectly aligned with your own mind, which is creating all of the problems. Because your mind is comprised of two things, memory and imagination. So what you're fearing is what you imagine might happen. But what you're imagining might happen, beloved, is only a projection. That's all it is. You fear the projection. Ain't got nothing to do with life. Your projection is a filter that you blanket life with. Here are 5 steps to help you deal with fear. Number 1, it ain't gonna happen. 98% of a human being's fear actually never happens. Remember that. Number 2, if it happens, it's because your spirit called the experience in. This understanding right here is a game changer because it takes you out of victim energy to creator energy. One more time. Number 2, if it happens, it's because your spirit called the experience in. That's how spirit works. Every single person that has ever came into your life, every single experience, spirit calls that in. That's how your awakening happens. Because there was something that you needed to learn. You needed to grow. There was something that person had, something that they carried that you needed to help you unlock a different version of yourself. Even the toxic relationships all help to unlock a version of yourself that you hadn't become before you encountered the relationship. What did the relationship give you? Did it not give you wisdom? Did it not open your eyes to certain things? Did it not wake you up out of your illusions with respect to that person? Come on, beloved, look at it now. Tell me it didn't. Tell me you were not a smarter version of yourself after the toxic relationship than before you opened it. Let me see if you're going to give me 5 seconds of truth. Tell me. Tell me that you weren't a more enlightened version of yourself as a result of that toxic relationship than you ever could have been before you got in it. In fact, the version of you that you were on the other side of the toxic relationship could give a master class to the version of you that you were before you stepped into the relationship. She'd take that version of you to school. You know that, and I know that. So how can you label something as bad if the thing you're labeling as bad made you more enlightened, made you smarter, gave you wisdom, gave you endurance, but you calling it bad? Isolation is the most beautiful gift that you could ever be given, beloved. How could that be bad? Isolation is the most beautiful gift that you can ever be given because isolation is designed to help you find yourself. That's why you're in a state of isolation. You're in a state of isolation because the isolation gives you time to come back to yourself. That's the greatest gift that you will ever be given. Trust me when I tell you that. I would have never became this version of myself had it not been for isolation. That's the whole point of isolation. See, one more time, you label it as something negative, so you're looking at it as a bad thing, so you can never get to the right place if you're using the wrong filter. You can never get to the right place if you're using the wrong map. You need to be in my class, whoever that person is that said isolation is a bad thing. Isolation helped you to dissolve the illusions. Isolation helped you to dissolve the fantasies. Isolation helped you to discover yourself again. Isolation gave you the ability to fall back in love with yourself again. Isolation gave you the ability to understand that you really didn't need people like you thought you did. It did so many things for you, but you ain't looking at it through that filter. You don't see none of that because you're so busy looking at it through a negative filter. I tell people all the time, our definitions in life hurt us more than anything else. The way you describe life, the way you define life is your problem. Only thing isolation is going to do is give you the entry fee back to who you really are. That's it. You found yourself, you discovered yourself, you had time for yourself, you might have discovered your hobbies, you might have had time to work on yourself, you might have had time to grow, you might have started working out again. It gave you all these things. You ain't mentioned none of that. None of it. I appreciate that, beloved. Yeah, you came in by yourself. And what we don't understand is you've been by yourself your whole life. Take God out of it. You've been by yourself your whole life. We don't understand that though. That's elevated self-awareness. You've been by yourself your whole life. Why? Because the whole experience of life is happening in your mind. All of your best friends live in your mind. Your job lives in your mind. Your kids live in your mind. Your friends live in your mind. Everything lives in your mind. You can experience that person in the physical reality, but the experience is happening in your mind. That's how powerful you are. But you don't understand that. That's why you can have a best friend that lives on the other side of the world and you guys haven't lost a beat. Why haven't you lost a beat? Because that person lives in your mind. You don't need to see them. You see them in your mind. Everything you see is happening in your mind. Because we don't understand that everything is consciousness. And because everything is consciousness, everything is operating at such a high vibrational frequency. Your eyes lack the ability to see things as they really are. So what do? You see things as you imagine them to be. Everything is happening in your mind. Your pain lives there, your wounds live there, your childhood lives there, your stories lives there, your families lives there, your job lives there. That's the reason why when you leave the job, you're still thinking about it, because it lives in your mind. Just to qualify my point. This is why when you step out of that relationship, you're still thinking about the person. Why are you still thinking about the person? Because the relationship was happening in your mind. Just because you removed yourself from the person doesn't mean that the experience stopped in your mind. It was still happening because it was happening here the entire time. Think about what I'm saying. When you in a relationship with let's just say you are a stay-at-home wife and your husband goes to work. He gone 8-10 hours a day. Does the relationship stop? Does it stop? Of course it doesn't stop because it's happening in your mind. It was happening in your mind the entire time. You ain't seen this person in 10 hours and you ain't missed a beat in that relationship. Why? Because the relationship is happening here. The moment you start to really understand that, you can gain mastery over life. Everything is happening here. So what does that mean? When I master my mind, I master everything. Every experience is a mental experience. Because what's happening outside of you gives you permission to unlock what's happening inside of you, beloved. And that's what you need to understand. Everything that, come on, y'all. Boom. I'm going to tell you how cold God is. He was a beast when he did this. Everything outside of you, beloved. Everything else. I didn't say some things. Everything outside of you only gives you permission to unlock what's inside of you. That's all it does. One more time. Everything that's happening outside of you, I don't care what it is. Everything that's happening outside of you in the external world gives you permission to unlock what's happening inside of you. Without the outside, you can't unlock what's happening inside of you. So when that person cuts you off in traffic, what do? You attach meaning to that. When you attach meaning to that, what happens? You give yourself permission to experience anger. I touch you on the shoulder and you think you're in love with me. I touch you on the shoulder. What do? You give meaning to that. It gives you the experience to unlock love in you. This person criticizes you, right? What they said to you was neutral, but you attach meaning to that. What did that do? It gives you the ability to experience rage and to unlock rage or frustration or unhappiness in you. Everything that's happening outside of you only gives you permission to unlock what's happening inside of you. That's what I need you to understand. Okay, well, what's the art to life? What does it mean? What is it all about? The art to life is simple. You want to move through life. And the things that are out of alignment with who you are, you stop assigning meaning to that. When people criticize you, you don't assign meaning to that anymore. Your past, you don't assign meaning to that. Your pain, you don't assign meaning to that. Why? Because you stop telling yourself the story that you're broken. It's all a story. All of your pain is trapped in a story. All of your suffering is trapped in a story. All of your wounds and your childhood trauma are all trapped in a memory trace that you continue to project onto the present moment. It's all happening in you, beloved. You are the divine. You are not experiencing the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself. I'm telling you, every single thing, beloved, that's happening outside of you is only giving you permission to unlock what's inside of you. And as you're moving through life, what God is trying to teach you, He's trying to teach you where you're strong. He's trying to teach you where you're weak. He's trying to teach you where you need to mature. He's trying to teach you where you need to grow. What do I mean by that? Well, that person criticized you, but you unlocked the feeling. That person cut you off in traffic, but you unlocked the feeling. That person cheated on you, but you unlocked the feeling. And what he's trying to get you to do is stop unlocking feelings that are out of alignment with what you want to experience in that moment. Bottom line. Bottom line. That's what the whole game of life is about. When you become self-aware, you're going to understand that. I'm in control of what I feel from moment to moment. I control that. You hold the remote control to your feelings. You push the button called anger. You push the button called depression. You push the button called unhappiness. You push the button called joy. You push the button called peace. All of these things are happening to you based upon what you're experiencing in the external reality. But the external reality doesn't have the power to create what you feel. The meaning you assign to it does. The story you create about it does. That's what's hurting you. Your past doesn't have the power to hurt you. The story that you keep telling yourself about it does. Your pain doesn't have the power to hurt you. The story you tell yourself about it does. That person that criticized you, or the person that cheated on you, the person that betrayed you, all neutral. These things are just showing you where you're not free in life, where you're not loving yourself. See, you stopped loving yourself when that person walked out of your life. You stopped loving yourself when they criticized you. You stop loving yourself and that person cut you off in traffic. You stop loving yourself and this person did this over here. You stop loving you. And what God is trying to teach you is stop. No, you don't ever stop loving you. You don't ever stop loving you. That's what the whole art to life is. You don't become a master until you never cut love off, because love is what you are, beloved. You don't ever cut that off. When that person walks out of your life, double down on how much you love yourself. When that person criticizes you, double down on how much you love yourself. When that person stops believing in you, double down on how much you love yourself. When that person cuts you off in traffic, double down on how much you love yourself. How do I double down on that, coach? At least I got a car. At least I was in a position to even be cut off in the traffic. I have my life. I have my future. I have my father. I'm the coldest thing walking. I'm a gift to every single person on this planet. I'm not going to allow this tiny little situation to cut love off in me, because I am love personified. Period. That person broke in my house. At least I had one. That person stole this from me. At least I had it for them to take. Whatever they took, God's going to bring it back times 10. That's where my faith is. I don't lose anything when you rocking with him. You lose nothing, beloved. Loss is a story that you tell yourself about the situation. You never lost nothing in your life. We don't lose people because people don't belong to us. What you lost was the access. You no longer had access to the person, but the person lives in your mind. Everything lives in your mind. And the moment that you understand that, you'll stop grieving when you lose people, because you're going to understand that the person lives here forever. The person had always lived here, beloved. You just lost physical access to them. But where they really live is in your mind and in your heart. You never lose that. You can visit them at any time you want. Anyone that you have ever lost, you can visit them right now. And you can unlock love when you visit them. You can unlock peace when you visit them. You can unlock happiness when you visit them. This is why you love Jesus. You love Jesus not because you have physical access to him. You love him because you have mental access to him. Divine, I appreciate that, beloved. Does that make sense? I appreciate that, beloved. I appreciate that, beloved. Man, you got it. So my point, beloved, is you don't lose anything. You don't lose anything. Because in God's mind, again, one more time, what we call a problem, he calls an error in our perception of the situation. So once he gives you access to that person lives here forever, and they live in your heart forever. They live there forever. And so whether you have physical access to the person or not, it doesn't matter. Look how much love you have for Jesus. You ain't ever sat in a room with the man. You don't know anything about the man. Not that you don't know anything about him, but you've never sat in the same room with him. You never heard the sound of his voice, right? You don't know his temperament. You don't know any of that. Everything is happening in your mind, right? But you have love for him. Why? Because this is where the real experience is. It doesn't matter. You don't need the physical experience of him. You only need to have the mental experience. And this mental experience comes from the story. The story is powerful. That's why you're able to experience it, right? And so it's important for us to understand that. I'll live in your mind forever. You'll never get me out of your mind. I will live in your mind forever, but everything will as well. So we don't lose anybody. Yes, do we lose physical access to people? Yes, I'll give you that all day long. But in God's mind, he's saying, beloved, the physical access was never important. The qualifier to that is Jesus. Look at how much you love him, but you've never had physical access to him, right? Because the whole entire experience is happening here. Everything is happening here. I can get you to add anything to your consciousness right now, right? That's what's important. Your neighbors live here, your friends live here, everyone lives here. This is why oftentimes you can be thinking about a friend and then that person calls you. Everything is happening energetically. Everything is happening here. This is why you got to gain mastery over your mind. And you can't allow your mind to have mastery over you. You got to gain mastery over your mind, beloved. You have to. It's mandatory. It's mandatory. Mandatory. It's mandatory. It's mandatory. Mandatory. Yeah, Divine, I'm telling you, it's mandatory. But once you understand that, it's the most beautiful thing in the world. I don't miss anything because everything is here. And see, here's the beautiful thing. To your mind, everything is happening right now. That's what's so beautiful about it. Now, you've been programmed and conditioned to operate out of psychological time. What is psychological time? Where you believe in the future, in the past. So you operate out of psychological time. But your mind is so powerful that it knows that the past and the future doesn't exist. Your mind knows that only this moment exists. Why is that important? Because to your mind, everything that happened in your childhood is now. Everything that happened with your wounds is now. Everything that happened with your parents is now. Everything is available right now to your mind. Because there's only this moment to your mind. Now, in your mind, you're thinking, oh, that happened 10 years ago. Oh, that happened 30 years ago. Oh, that happened 5 years ago. Okay, that's wonderful. That's psychological time. That doesn't exist. What's important for you to understand is that to your mind, everything is now, meaning that it can pull that file about what happened to with your parents. It can pull that file with respect to what happened to your childhood trauma. It can pull that file with respect to that person that cheated on you 5 years ago. And it will bring up all of the emotions from that experience as though it happened 5 minutes ago. That's how powerful your mind is. This is why you need to understand it. You need to be in control of it. To your mind, there's just this moment. Ain't no other moment. So it doesn't matter if you said, oh, that was 5 years ago, coach. It doesn't matter. To your mind, it was 5 seconds ago. I appreciate that, beloved. And I think that once you start to understand that, so one more time, you have the experience of this person. You gained access to them for a year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, 2 years. The person walked out of your life, but they live here forever, beloved. They've always lived here. The whole experience was happening in you. Nothing was coming from the outside. You were giving yourself permission to experience love. You were giving yourself permission to experience happiness. You were giving yourself permission sometimes to experience pain or suffering or unhappiness or depression. But you've been giving yourself permission to experience everything you've been experiencing this entire time. Everything is coming from you. Nothing is coming from the outside in. Nothing. That's it. So, somebody walks up and gives you a hug, somebody you ain't seen in a long time. You give yourself permission to unlock whatever emotion that you want to unlock that's equivalent to the hug that you just received. It's all happening internally. Their emotion is not transferring over to your body. They're experiencing themselves through you. You're experiencing more of yourself through them. Everything is internal. And the moment that one more time, you are not experiencing the universe, you are the universe experiencing itself. Every experience is already in you. I'll give you an example, great example of what I mean. Let's say you win the lottery tomorrow, right? You win $10 million. Okay, wonderful. Well, the money doesn't come with emotions. You ain't never seen money with emotions jumping out of it. The money doesn't come with emotions. Okay, well, where'd the feeling come from? Where'd all that security come from? Where'd all that excitement come from? Where'd that joy come from? Where'd the confidence come from? Where'd the feeling of abundance come? It comes from the meaning you assigned to it. You assigned a meaning to that money. You told yourself a story which gave you permission to unlock security and abundance and happiness and confidence and joy and love and all of these things. But the money is not responsible for the feelings. And this is why I want you to understand that, because the moment you understand that, we'll stop stressing out and becoming so unglued the moment somebody walks out of your life. You're giving yourself permission. You're only experiencing you. See, that's the most beautiful thing in the world. God gives you access to certain things so that you can unlock more of who you already are. The money only helps you to unlock more of who you already are. The person you added to your life only helped you to unlock more of who you already are. The car that you added only helped you to unlock a version of yourself that you didn't have access to before you received the car. Everything is only unlocking more of who you are. We talk about the keys and the locks. Everything is keys and the locks. The locks are inside of you. Everything outside of you is a key. The moment that you add that key to your life, it unlocks a feeling, it unlocks a version of yourself that you currently didn't have access to before you added the person. That's what everything is, keys and locks. What's the goal? To unlock as many locks in you as possible, meaning to unlock as many versions of yourself as you possibly can. That's the whole art to life. So you don't chase people, you chase the versions of yourself that haven't become unlocked yet. So you always have to be on the hunt for who you have yet to become. So my thinking is when a person, I'm unlocking things in you right now, right? You added me to your consciousness, meaning you added me to your moment. You added me to your experience. Okay, wonderful. I'm going to unlock some things in you. And then you'll go and you'll talk to somebody else. You might go meet with your personal trainer. You might go meet with the finance person. You might go to the bank. You might go whatever. But my point is that, you know, every person, I don't have any power. I have no power in your life right now. The only power I have in your life comes from the meaning that you assign to me. The story that you tell yourself about me is what makes me powerful, nothing else. I'm neutral. Let me qualify that. See, you've had access to me. So you're like, okay, coach kind of know his thing, whatever the case may be. But let's just say I walk into a supermarket and no one knows me. They won't look at me as being powerful. And the reason why they won't look at me as being powerful is because they won't assign the same meaning to me that you're assigning right now. I'm only powerful because you say I am. But the same thing applies to the relationship. The relationship is only powerful because you say it is. The job is only powerful because you say it is. People are only powerful because you say they are, because you are the divine. Nothing is powerful without your permission. Nothing is powerful. Your problems are powerful because you say they are. Your pain is powerful because you say it is. Your childhood trauma is powerful because you say it is. Only thing that's have power in your life is the things that you assign power to, beloved. That's what God is trying to wake you up to. You are assigning power to things that are hurting you the most. You assign power to that toxic relationship. You assign power to your past. You assign power to that job. You assign power to that person that criticized you. You assign power to everything. Nothing can have power without your permission. I just qualified. You sitting here right now, you're like, oh, I like coach. I like what coach is saying. Okay, wonderful. Freeze that thought. But I can go sit at the bus stop right now, take my clothes off, put on an old t-shirt, got some holes in it, go put on an old pair of jeans. Just go sit at the bus stop. Everybody gonna walk past me. Why would they walk past me? Because they don't assign the same meaning to you that you do. They assign a different meaning to me. They might look at me as being homeless. This person up here might look at me as not being very special. This person might be, they're gonna give a different meaning to that. I'm only powerful because you say I am. So I don't get to be anything in your life that you don't give me permission to be. And that's where your power lives. That toxic relationship is powerful because you are giving it permission to be powerful in your life. That job is stressing you out because you are giving it permission to stress you out. Them kids are stressing you out because you are giving them permission to stress you out. That person that criticized you, you gave that person permission to stress you out because outside of that, they had no power. I can walk up to you right now and curse you out. You got to give that power. You got to give the power, beloved. All power comes from you. And I think that once we really understand that, that's real mastery. You know, that toxic relationship ain't got no power. Your significant other has no power in your life. Let me say that one more time. Your significant other has no power in your life. They only have the power you assign. They can only play the role you allow them to play. They can't play any other role. Whatever the role is that person is playing in your life, you assigned it. And not only did you assign it, you backed it with power. You backed it with belief. You backed it with a story. So all of the power that they have in your life is coming from you, which makes no sense why you would be in a toxic relationship, which makes no sense why they would be verbal abuse, which makes no sense why they would be disrespect. Not in the power is coming from you at the same time. Now hold on, I'm giving you the power and you using it against me. I'm giving you the power and you hurting me. I'm giving you the power, but I'm the one walking on eggshells. I'm giving you the power, but I'm the one turning down the volume. Come on, we got to make that make sense, beloved. Now, I ain't asking you to change your life, but I am asking you to make sense of it. That's all I'm asking. I ain't asking for a lot. Promise you I'm not. Oh, wait, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. Right? So, just something to think about. Just something to think about. Just something to think about. I missed that question, beloved. I'm sorry. Somebody said something about giving your power away. You said you need to learn to let go. Yeah, you just teach yourself how to let go the same way you taught yourself how to hold on. You said when you reply back to them in bad or good, you give your power away. Um, no, I think it's just important for us to understand that, you know, everything is about alignment, right? And we talked about this, excuse me, we talked about this before when I said, you know, mastery has four filters. That's it. That's four filters. What does that mean? That means that every person that I'm looking at, and I'm saying this in my mind, every person that I'm looking at has to pass through these four filters. That's it. It's not a lot. 8 billion people, four filters. What are the four filters? Better, stronger, smarter, faster. That's it. If you apply these four filters to your life, A, you'll never be in another toxic relationship. B, you'll always have 5-star love and respect for yourself. And C, you'll never be taken advantage of or manipulated ever, ever, ever again in life. Four filters. Your refusal to apply these four filters will be the cause of your suffering, will be the cause of your pain. Four filters. Better, stronger, smarter, faster. So when you're looking at the people in your life, or when you're looking at that person that you wake up next to every single day, do they make you better? Do they make you smarter? Do they make you stronger? Do they make you faster? That's it. That's it. No fantasies, no illusions, no one day they might be, no hope, no any of that. Why don't you hope in a relationship? Hope is the worst relationship partner in the history of life because hope will keep you blind to the present moment. Hope will keep you blind because you're always hoping for something better than you have right now, unless you wouldn't be hoping. So the moment you stop hoping, you're ignoring current present reality and you're looking out into the future, which means that you're ignoring the present moment. That's the problem. So this is the reason why you don't have hope in your relationship. Right? I appreciate that, beloved. No hope in the relationship. Better, stronger, smarter, faster. You ain't asking for, here's, I'm going to tell you, all that's free. That's all free, beloved. None of that costs that person anything. We ain't talking about things that cost money. So I ain't asking you to ask a person for a Rolls Royce. I'm not asking you to ask them for a 10-carat diamond ring. I'm not asking you to ask a person for fur coats and luxury trips. Better, stronger, smarter, faster. Why is that important? Because if I'm not adding value to you, that can only mean that I'm taking value away from you. That's why that is critically important. Whatever it is that's in your life right now, If it is not currently adding value to you, it is taking value away from you. Period. Period. And if you know after today's live, I understand if you didn't know it yesterday, but after today's live, after you hearing this information, and you allow someone to remain in your life that doesn't make you better, doesn't make you stronger, doesn't make you smarter, doesn't make you faster, just go look in the mirror. That's all I want you to do. Just walk to the closest mirror in your bathroom and just go look in the mirror. Because in that moment, you are coming face to face with the problem in your life. That's all I want you to do. Just go look in the mirror. I didn't ask you to change the mirror. I didn't ask you to clean the mirror. Just go look at it. Better, stronger, smarter, faster. Every single person in my life right now, currently, fits all four categories perfectly. This is why I have alignment in my life. This is why I have peace in my life. This is why I have happiness in my life. This is why I have joy. This is why I have growth. This is why I have abundance, because everyone fits those four categories. And I don't want to be in your life if I don't fit. If I don't fit those four categories, I don't deserve to be in your life. And I know right now in this moment, I know this, if I don't know anything else, I know I'm making you better. I know I'm making you smarter. I know I'm making you stronger. I know I'm making you faster. But don't just apply that filter to me. Apply that filter to every single person that you come in contact with. Or why would you allow that person to have access to you? If they don't fit them filters, then something is wrong with you. If they don't fit those four categories and you allow that person to remain in your life, that's your pain speaking for you. Those are your wounds speaking for you. That's your lack of self-love speaking for you in that moment. That's you not believing that you are better, you deserve better than what you currently receive. That's all of that speaking for you. That's all that is. Let me say this real quick. Let me say this real quick. Yeah, Phil. Yeah, Phil. I'm telling you, man. Who you are becoming matters more than what you are building. I said, who you are becoming matters more than what you are building. Damn what you're trying to build. That's why things fall apart. The most important thing that God gave you to build was yourself. The most important structure he gave you to build was you. We're so caught up and so focused trying to build something on the outside, but you ain't built yourself. The most important thing he gave you to build was you. First, priority number one. Now, I understand that you want to become an entrepreneur, and I understand you might want to become a content creator, and all these, I get all of that. But that's you building something in the external world. But you ain't built your internal world first. What is the driver for your external world? No, you build you first. Because you are the business. Everything comes from you. The thoughts come from you. The feelings come from you. The belief comes from you. The faith comes from you. The passion comes from you. The fire comes from you. Everything comes from you. The fires burning outside of you can never burn brighter than the fire happening in you. You are the fire. I don't give a damn what's happening in your external world. You are the fire. You don't ever allow this fire to go out because somebody walked out of your life. Allow this fire to go out because something didn't go the way you needed it to. Allow this fire to go out because somebody criticized you. Because once this fire goes out, it's hard to jumpstart it. That's why we run to the therapist. That's why we run to the pastor, because the fire went out in you. That's why we run to the bookstore and get the self-help books, because the fire went out. You never allow the fire to go out in you. I said never. You build you first. You are the most important thing you will ever build. I don't give a damn how impressive your external reality is. Nothing is more important than you building yourself first. Because whatever you're building in the outside world is only an extension of your internal world. It's only a reflection. Everything that you build in outside of you is a reflection. Your current relationship is a reflection of who you are. So all you got to do is look at the relationship. The relationship is your mirror. It's telling you everything about you, everything you need to know about yourself. How that person is talking to you, how they treat you, how they show up for you. It's your mirror. You want to know a little bit about yourself? Just look at the relationship. It's going to tell you everything you need to know. You want to know a little bit about yourself? Just look at your life. It's going to tell you everything you need to know. It's going to tell you whether or not you've been procrastinating. It's going to tell you whether or not you really love yourself. It's going to tell you whether you show up for yourself. Everything in reality is your mirror, beloved. Wake up. It's all your mirror. So all you got to do is just put yourself in park long enough to just look at your life. Put yourself in park long enough. Look at the relationship. Put yourself in park long enough. Look at how your friends interact with you. Put yourself in park and you'll see everything reflecting you back to you. I'm telling you, the most important thing you're going to ever build is you. That's the thing you want to be the most impressive, not damn that skyscraper, damn that online business, damn that brick and mortar. Yeah, that's wonderful. We're going to get to that next. But if I don't build me first, I'm going to be in trouble because I'll be a liability to myself. I'll find my value in the building. I'll find my value in my online presence. I'll find my value in my reputation. All of those things are an extension of you. That's all they are. And they only have power because, again, power is coming from you. Your reputation has power because you give it power. Power is coming from you. Your relationship has power because you give it power. Power is coming from you. That business that you built has power because you say it has power. Power comes from you. Everything comes from you. So just imagine how powerful you will be when you double down on your belief, double down on your self-worth, double down on your growth. Making sure that every should and every must aligns. Making sure that every choice and decision aligns. Making sure that you never allow people to show you twice what they've already shown you once. Double your net worth by doubling your self-worth. Double the quality of your life by doubling down on your self-love. I just need to invest more in me. I need to put more in me. Damn, trying to get all the stuff. That's wonderful that you're trying to do all the external things. I get that part. I get it. Yeah, you double your net worth by doubling your self-worth. I just need to believe in me. See, you don't understand, beloved. You the asset. You are God's greatest asset. You are the asset. And then this asset has the power to produce other assets. Where we get it lost is that we focus on the assets that the asset created. And then we stop taking care of the asset and we take care of the other assets that come from the original asset. But the original asset is struggling. The original asset is unhappy. The original asset isn't growing. The original asset is being disrespected. The original asset is showing up small. The original asset isn't living out of your authenticity. So all of the other external things that you build are going to be weak. If you're not strong, how can you build something strong? How can you build something power when power comes from you? So how will I build something from the external perspective that's powerful if I'm not powerful myself? When I build me and transform me into the most powerful version of myself, all of my friendships are powerful. My businesses are powerful. My relationships are powerful. Who I can come in contact with will be powerful because I am the power source. But we've been programmed and conditioned to only focus on the things that are happening outside of us, and we invest very little. One more time, I said to you guys this all the time. We give the world the best of us, and then we turn around and give ourselves what's left of us. That's why we don't become the most powerful version of ourselves. You got to twist that around. You give yourself the best of you, and you give the world what's left of you. And watch how your life changes. I got to give the best of me to me. I'm going to give it to you. What am I going to have? So one more time, who you are becoming matters more than what you are building, beloved. Who are you becoming? You can't be passive about that. You got to be Navy SEAL locked in on that. Who are you becoming? That's the most important question in the world. And what in your life could potentially stop you from becoming that? What could hinder you? You can't just focus on where you're going until you start focusing on what could potentially keep you from getting there. See, that's the problem. We're so offensive minded that we don't pay attention to what could potentially keep us from getting there. It's great to know where you're going, but you also have to know what's holding you back from getting to that particular destination. What's holding you back? See, God is more invested in who you are becoming than he is in what you are producing. I said, God is more invested in who you are becoming than he is in what you are producing. He doesn't care about what you are producing. He's focused on who you are becoming. And what you ignore in private will eventually show up in public. If your character doesn't grow with your success, what you're building will ultimately fail. Expanding your life without expanding your mind will cost you later. And the weight of what you build has to be matched with the strength of who you are. I said the weight of what you build has to be matched with the strength of who you are. You are the first structure that God designed for you to build. And God builds people before he builds platforms. That's why we end up in a state of isolation. That's why he removes the crowds, because he's giving you an opportunity to build yourself before you build the platform. You can't build a platform and build yourself at the same time. Because your skills may open the door, but your character determines how long the door will stay open. Yeah, God builds you before he ever builds the platform. One more time, your skills may open the door, but your character determines how long the door will stay open, beloved. Character determines that, not your skills. And if your inner life doesn't match your outer life, then what you're praying for, you will never see. Not because you're not worthy, not because you're not determined, not because you're not deserving, but because your inner world doesn't match the world that you are praying for, the life that you are praying for. They don't match. So if God was to bless you with that light, he'd cripple you, beloved. Because your mental capacity doesn't match the physical capacity that you want to see in your life. What if you're successful at the wrong thing? I said, what if you're successful right now at the wrong thing? Success isn't proof of alignment, because you can be thriving financially and failing spiritually. You can be thriving financially and failing internally. Some of you guys are experiencing that right now. Yeah, you thriving from an external perspective. Your life looks amazing on the outside, but internally, you don't feel fulfilled. You feel like something is missing. Yeah, you might have the house and you might have the kids. And you might have the life, you might have the car, but you still feel empty on the inside. What if you're succeeding at the wrong thing? Not every win is a blessing. Some wins will cost you your peace, your family, and your calling. You can build something that impresses others and still be failing in God's eyes. Because you're going off of your definition of what worldly success is. Success to God means that you are operating out of your purpose. He ain't worried about how popular you are on social media. He's not worried about the size of your house. All that comes from him. See, your purpose impresses others, but your discipline impresses him. Your purpose impresses others, right? But your alignment impresses him. See, and success in the wrong assignment doesn't just impact you. It reshapes what your children believe that success is supposed to look like. Your family doesn't just inherit what you earn. They inherit what you normalize. See, God can redeem wasted seasons, but he won't affirm misaligned ones. Generational impact isn't about how high you climbed on the mountain. Generational impact is about whether or not you climbed the right mountain to begin with. See, the most dangerous success in the world is the kind that works so well that you never ask God, was it his? I'm gonna set my mic down right there. Set my mic down right there. Danelle, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. So good to see you, brother. I said the most dangerous success in the world is the success that works so well that you never stop to ask God, was it his? All right. Conti, I see you. Real quick, type me in the comments real quick, you guys, if this is your first time on a live stream with me real quick. Type me in the comments if this is your very first time. Welcome to all of the first time and last time listeners. Welcome, 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 welcome. First time, awesome, awesome, awesome. Hopefully I left you better than I found you. That's the whole purpose and mission, not just for me. That's the whole purpose and mission, in life, leave people better than you found them. Leave people better than you found them. And that's simple, right? It's simple. That what do we say? Life is a single player game. We play it oftentimes at a multiplayer level. When you're playing it at a single player level, you're really focused on impact, and you're really focused on how you are impacting the lives of other people that you come in contact with. That's the most important thing in the world, because you are always leaving an impression on that person. That person is either going to have an opportunity to walk away transformed, or that person is going to walk away a shell of themselves. That person is either going to walk away inspired, or that person is going to walk away hoping that they never see you again. You control the outcome of that. And I think that once you understand, once you start moving through life and you start to understand that, Again, I only want to have access to people, and I only want people in my life that I can benefit this person. I can add significant value to the life of this person. Um, and it's because that's really what it's all about, beloved. It's all about um, impact. It's not about the size of your house. It's not about the size of your bank account. It's about the size of the impact that you have on every single person that you come in contact with. Impact is the new success, right? That's the new success. Impact. Impact. Think about what I'm saying. Jesus didn't have houses everywhere. He didn't have fancy clothes. He didn't have some mega church. He wasn't an author. He didn't write a book. But his impact would change you. His impact on your life would transform you more than any house would have, more than his clothes, more than some mega church. His impact alone. He measured himself based upon the impact that he would leave. That's what it's all about. Impact is the new success. It's about the fact that you understand that I'm such a powerful being. I'm such a powerful individual. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about you. That I have the power. When I become fully unlocked, when I become the self-aware version of me, when I become a master of self, when I'm operating at the highest level of consciousness, you have the power to transform any person you come in contact with, because love is more powerful than hate. Love is more powerful than fear. Love is more powerful than everything because love has no opposite. Fear is not the opposite of love. Fear is the opposite of faith. Doubt is not the opposite of love. Doubt is the opposite of belief, right? And it's so important that we understand that. Depression is not the opposite of love. No, depression is coming based upon your attachment to something. Fear is coming based upon your attachment to something. Your anxiety is coming based upon you projecting something out. You're not trusting God in that moment. All of these things are indicators. Love has no opposite because love is all there is. And when there's no love there, an absence of love is abuse. That's what I need you to understand today. Take this message with you if you don't do anything else, just in case you never come back. The absence of love is abuse, because unconditional love is what you are. So as you're moving through the world and you see some person and you withhold that love from that person that you could have given that person, understand what's happening in that moment. What is unconditional love? Unconditional love is a heart that doesn't harden itself to anyone for any reason. So the moment that I withhold love from you, that's abuse. Because if I didn't give you love, what did I give you? If I didn't give you love, I gave you pain. If I didn't give you love, I gave you disrespect. If I didn't give you love, maybe I gave you my ego. Maybe I gave you my programming and conditioning. Maybe I gave you my pride. None of those things could have transformed that person. That's why God made you the unconditional love personified, because love has the power to transform anything. But when you withhold the love from that person, what are you giving them? And not only that, when I withhold the unconditional love from you, I also withhold it from myself. So when I harden my heart toward you, I also block myself and cut myself off from being able to experience the love as well. So I'm not just hurting you, I'm hurting myself. Every single person that you decide to withhold your love from, and I'm not telling you that you need to do this, but I'm just trying to wake you up to something that you may be blind to. Every person that you made a conscious decision in your mind to not give love to that person, even though that's what you are, what you're doing in that moment is that's a form of abuse. Because what did you give them if you didn't give them the love? When you made that decision to not give it to them because you were frustrated, or you were angry, or you were unhappy, love wasn't in you in that moment. What do you give people when you're not giving them the love that God created you to give them? Every single day, we talk about this all the time in the community. Every single day is Halloween. You're that house, the most beautiful house on the street. And your job is to just give out the candy. That's it. People are going to show up. Some people are going to be in pain. Some people are going to be unhappy. Some people are going to be excited. Some people are going to experience joy. It doesn't matter what they show up doing. What matters is, what did you give them? That's what matters. Did you give out the candy? Did you give out the love? Or did you give out your pain and your programming and conditioning and your ego personality and your wounds and your pride? What you give? God sent you here to give the love away. The same way that we give candy away on Halloween. No difference. When those kids open up when they knock on your door, you open the door, what do? You fill their little baskets, their little buckets, and then you let them go about their business. Same thing with people. No difference. Here's the problem. You've made love about other people. You've made it about other people. It has nothing to do with other people. No more than a mountain has to do with your living situation. Love has absolutely nothing to do with other people, but you've made it about other people. It's nothing to do with them. Other people should never stop you from blocking the love in your life. Other people should never block you from the flow of love that's happening in you. But you've made it about other people. You've allowed them to be the reason why you don't give it out. So when you're not giving away the love, what are you giving them? What are you giving them? What are you reflecting in that moment? Because you're always carrying a reflection. You're either carrying the reflection of your pain, or you're carrying the reflection of the love in you. But you're always carrying a reflection. Just sit with that today. I'm not asking you to change your life. I'm just asking you to think about the way you live it. That's all I'm asking. That's it. For anyone that's new to the platform, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Jordan Williams. I am a certified life coach. I specialize in self-awareness, self-mastery, relationship mastery, emotional intelligence, consciousness. I specialize in just helping my students and my clients all over the world to become the greatest and strongest and most powerful versions of themselves. Why is that important? Because when you understand that everything is you pushed out, it's a game changer. And you may not know, I may be speaking over your head right now, and I apologize if I am. But everything is you pushed out. What that basically means is I'm a reflection of a future version of you. I'm just carrying a reflection, but everything in your life right now is carrying a certain reflection. I'm just a reflection of what the future version of you will look like, but just with your temperament, right? Your attitude, your history, your experiences, but the mindset is the same. The self-awareness is the same. The emotional intelligence is the same. The self-mastery is the same. Just you being a different vessel that carries that. So I'm just a future version of you pushed out. So if you have enjoyed this live stream, you're not just looking at me, you're looking at you, because I'm going to take everything that's in my mind and I'm going to transfer that over to you. And then that's going to unlock you. And then you're going to do the same thing for someone else. And then that's how the world gets changed, because that's exactly what someone did to me. I showed up empty-handed. I showed up with my cup empty, and they filled my cup. And I became this version of myself. Think about martial arts for a second. When you walk into a martial arts studio, dojo, whatever you want to call it, you don't know anything. And so when you walk in, that master is thinking about what's the best and most efficient and effective way to help you become a black belt. That's all he's thinking. Now, you don't know anything. You don't know the kicks. You don't know the punches. You don't know how to strike. You don't know how to pivot. You don't know how to do anything. And he still sees your value. And what he's going to do is take you from white belt level, which is how you start, to black belt level. Same thing applies here. The Mindset Masters community is one of the fastest growing communities on social media. What am I going to help you to do? Become a black belt mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, to where you become emotionally bulletproof, to where you have the 5-star confidence and the 5-star belief in yourself, to where you fully become unlocked and fully become unleashed. The moment that you understand that you are both the cage and the key to your own life, you are both the warden and the inmate. The warden carries the happiness, the inmate carries the pain, right? That's who we are. Every moment of your life, you're either showing up as the warden, the one that's in control, or you're showing up as the inmate, the one that lacks control. That's the problem. Most people show up as the inmate to their own lives. When you tolerate disrespect, you're the inmate. When you tolerate verbal abuse, you're the inmate. When you show up small to your own life, you're the inmate. I'm going to give you an opportunity in the ability to become the warden in your life, the shot caller, the one that doesn't show up small, the one that doesn't shrink in the moment, the one that says what needs to be said, the one that's not afraid of losing anything or anyone, because you don't lose anything because nothing has ever belonged to you. That version of you, the strongest version of you, the most fearless version of you, the most confident version of you, that version of you. I can't tell you about depression because I don't experience those things anymore. I can't tell you about fear because I don't experience those things anymore. I can't tell you about doubt because I don't experience any of those things anymore, but I can tell you about love. Give you world-class education on that. I can tell you about that. So if you are if you're struggling with depression, the community is for you. If you're struggling with anxiety, the community is for you. If you're struggling with imposter syndrome, the community is for you. If you've been going to the therapist for a while and you haven't been able to figure it out, the community is for you. If you're on any type of medications right now, or you're going through a bad breakup or divorce, the community is for you. If you're looking to discover your purpose, the community that I'm getting ready to tell you about is for you. See, the Mindset Masters community is, again, it's one of the fastest growing communities on social media. This is not the community. This is TikTok. This is a separate community where we meet up and talk about what we're talking about right now, right? Where you're going to have access to all of my live streams. And when I'm talking countless hours, so much you'll never get through it all. I can promise you that. You'll never get through it all. Just the live streams alone, you'll never get through it all. And then you're going to have access to my podcast, which is exclusive to the community. Why is the podcast important? Because the podcast is simply this. The podcast is, my team takes our live streams, like the one you're watching right now, and edits out all of the gaps and pauses and everything like that. And it's just nonstop, rapid fire, boom, 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 boom. That's why I like it. Because when you think about a book, right? Anytime you're reading a book, books are 80-20. What does that mean? 20% of what's in that book you needed to know. The other 80% is filler. And so what's so important about that is that when you listen to the podcast is boom, 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 from start to finish. That's what I love the most about it, because I don't want to waste my time listening to a bunch of things. So the podcast is amazing. The live streams are amazing. The community is amazing. You're going to gain access to 2 life coaches, 1 executive coach. Why is that important? Because I'm going to be your coach. So you're going to gain access to me. I'm going to be your mentor. I'm going to be your accountability partner, and I'm going to be your life coach and your virtual life coach. And what's important about that is, this book, which is one of the things that you're going to receive when you get signed up in the community today. You're going to receive this book. Why is that important? Because you're going to gain access to the author. So you're going to study the book because the book is foundation, right? It's foundational to the community, as well as the e-course, the Fearless Mindset, which you're also going to receive. And so the combination of the community, you gaining access to me, the live streams, the podcast, what I write every single day, and upload into the community, the combination of all of that is going to transform you into a version of yourself that you currently don't have access to. A version of yourself that 6 months from now would run circles around the current version of you, right? That's the goal. That's the mission. That's the focus. So If you are ready to take me on as your coach and your accountability partner and your mentor, type me in the comments right now and I'll tell you guys how to get signed up. If you liked any of what you saw in this live today, the community is just live on steroids. All right, guys. So here's what you guys are going to need to know. The entire community, $1 a day, no contracts, no obligations, $29 a month for the community, right? And again, no contracts, no obligations. What are you going to receive? You're going to receive a free copy of my book today, which is a $29 value as well. So you're going to receive this book. This book is going to come in ebook format. It's important that you understand that. So you'll have the book by the end of the day. You're also going to receive a free copy of my e-course, The Fearless Mindset, because the combination of the two is so important to who you are going to ultimately become. And I'll tell you the formula with the book, and I'll tell you the formula with the e-course. Once you get inside of the community, you can just send me a direct message, and I'll tell you how to apply both. So you're going to get the book today. You're going to get the course today. You're going to get me today. You're going to get the community today. Today is the beginning of forever. That's it. It's the beginning of forever. Today will be the day that your life changes. Your life changes based upon the decisions. I think that's one thing that we don't really give enough credit to. Your life changes the day that you make an unwavering decision. Your life doesn't change when you get the result. Your life changed the moment you made the decision. The moment you made that decision and you made it in your mind that I'm not turning back and I'm going to do this thing, your life changed in that moment. Now, you may not have received the results from that, but the change happened the moment that you made that unwavering decision that this is what I'm getting ready to do. I'm getting ready to invest in myself. I'm getting ready to commit to myself. Your life changed in that moment. Energetically, your life changed. Just copy and paste that link, you guys. Hold that link down that God's Girl has. Hold that link down right there, and then that'll take you to get signed up. And then once you get signed up, you're good to go. Any comments or any questions, rather? Pashan, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. Any questions, community related? No, I go at like it fluctuates, but I try to get on at like 9:15, somewhere around that time. Absolutely, Rika. So good to see you, beloved. Absolutely. Yeah, today was good. Today was good. I enjoyed today. JDE, I see you. You're welcome. Yeah, I go at like 9:15 Central Time, 9:15 in the morning Central Time. That part right there, Kev. Do me a favor, you guys. Like I said again, just copy and paste the link, you guys. Put it inside of your browser, and you guys will be ready to go. Go. Any other questions before we get out of here? You in South Africa? No, it doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter where you are. We have people all over the world in the community. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you are. But welcome. No, I'm happy that you are chiming in from South Africa. I love that. I love it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, family. I appreciate that. Yeah, that tan. How you say that tan? Any questions before I disconnect? Just to see where you are. The self-awareness test, yeah, it's just to really, because again, I tell people all the time, we most people believe that they're self-aware, right? Most people believe it, and again, that's the ego. The ego is going to say yes, even though it's a hard no for a lot of people, not all people, but for a lot. And so the self-awareness audit is just going to give you the awareness audit. It's just going to give you the ability to just really test yourself and just to really see where you are. It's not mandatory, but if you really want to know how self-aware you are, that's what it's all about. Absolutely, Kingdom Investor. Absolutely, family. Absolutely. Absolutely. Other than that, I think that's it for me. If you guys have any, yeah, Lynn, take it and let me know. Take it and let me know what you think. But again, like I said, again, it's you. You always want to know, right? You want to be in the know with respect to certain things, and so that's why I love it. You know, because it's gonna, yeah, you're gonna know. Absolutely, absolutely, Coach. Thank you, Coach. God's girl, thank you, Coach. Honey man, I'll see you. Yeah, Rich, I'll see you. I'll see you. You gotta stay powerful, stay prayed up. I've got some things I need to put inside the community, anyways. So for anyone that's already inside the Mindset Masters community, I'm getting to jump inside. I've got some messages to return, some voice messages to get back to from some of you guys. So Sandy, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. She's becoming so powerful. She is becoming so powerful. Absolutely, Neffy. Cash, I see you. You're welcome, beloved. Okay, I will see you guys inside of the community. Stay powerful, stay prayed up.